Here, the level of anticipation is getting higher and higher, but the level of expectation never changes. That's because for the Hawks, the expectation is always state. Since 2014, the bar has been set at the highest level. Beginning in 7th grade, every football player speaks his destiny by chanting state as the only acceptable goal. It's posted on the walls. It's printed on t-shirts. It's the pinnacle of high school football and the state that does it best. Some have had the honor of reaching the top of the mountain. Some have reached the top of the mountain and won the final battle. This year's Hawk football team is ready to start their climb. Coach Josh Gibson has assembled a dream team of coaches, including former Hawks, who helped create the winning culture by bringing home the first state championship. With 23 seniors and 7 Division I college prospects, the Hawks are poised to make a climb to the top once again. Dave Campbell's Texas football has picked the Hawks as the preseason number 3 in state and as the favorite to win District 7 championship. The pieces are in place. The expectations, as always, are high, but the game still has to be played on the field. Beginning August 25th, the Hawks will be looking for you in the stands as 5 home games and 5 away games decide their fate. So get your Hawk gear, put on your game face. It's time to take your place on the battlefield. Can you hear the war cry? We are Hawk Nation.
Hawk Nation, it's time. It's time to capitalize on the opportunity that we have this year. We need you to show up, to be loud, and be supportive. We need all Hawk Nation to be with us in this journey. 2023 is going to be a special season. It could be the best one yet. We need to turn over every stone. We need to make sure we're going full tilt. And as always, put our heart and soul into our program and our community. Let's go, Hawk Nation.
I want to be great! I want to win! I want to be great! I want to win!
Good evening and welcome to week 1 of high school football, brought to you by Texarkana Gameday. I am Jay Davis. We are coming to you from Royse City, Texas, where tonight's matchup is between 2 ranked teams, both with big expectations for the year. The Brock Eagles, the number 2 ranked team in 3A Division I, traveled just over 100 miles through the DFW traffic to reach Royse City ISD Stadium, while the Pleasant Grove Hawks traveled west about 150 miles for tonight's contest. I'm not sure which is the best way to describe exit 79 on I-30. Is it the stadium next to Buc-ee's, or is it Buc-ee's next to the stadium? Either way, Buc-ee's Texarkana Gameday wants you as a sponsor. So, Courtney Carter, reach out to myself or Morgan Smith with Texarkana Gameday, and let's get you on board supporting high school student athletes. And on that note, tonight's stream is dependent on the support of our sponsors. Tonight's presenting sponsors are Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital, State Bank, Greg Orr Auto, Rocasa, and Reliance Mechanical Contractors. Texarkana Game Day supporters, we want to thank you for supporting Texarkana Game Day because we could not stream to all the devices without your support. And for those already watching, let us know where you're watching the game and like and share if you are able. I want to take a moment to introduce my broadcast partner for the football season. Many of you have heard his voice before calling games on Friday nights through your radio. And for the last couple of years, Pleasant Grove has called him the Director of Operations for the district. And that is Matt Fry. Matt, I'm excited to have you spend the season with me and looking forward to a very interesting and exciting season for the Pleasant Grove Hawks.
Jay, I think it's going to be a great season for the Hawks. Tons of expectations coming in for Pleasant Grove, and excited to get it started off tonight. Brock, one of those teams that I think is a good test early in the season, a team that played all the way into the state championship game last year. And then here they are, like you say, coming across 2 teams that I think have similar traditions, a similar style, a similar feel. And it's a good way to get started. It'd be nice if it was about 20 degrees cooler. But other than that, I think it's going to be a beautiful night for football here in Royse City.
Yeah, one of the things that was a concern for all parties was the temperature and the heat that was going to be portrayed for tonight. And I think that it was a wise decision for us to back it up to an 8 o'clock start. And
Absolutely.
so I'm definitely glad for the students. I had a chance to walk the field a little bit before we got into the booth, and it's a little warm down there on the turf.
We've got some guys that we expect to make big plays for the Hawks this year, those that we're going to lean on, and we'll kind of tag team these back and forth and talk about them. The first one, Caleb Hackelman, the senior, committed to Oklahoma State University last season during the regular season. These are the stats. We're going to bring you regular season stats. He ended the season with 16 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Also a big part of that offensive line up front, that seasoned offensive line for the Hawks.
Right, and then next another lineman with him is Cade Martin, who is also a baseball star for Pleasant Grove. And some of the stats that he had last year, 51 tackles and 8.5 of those for a loss.
And also can kick the air out of a football as the punter. Akari Johnson, the trigger man for the Hawks, the senior quarterback, last year amassed 1,927 total yards, 1,385 through the air, 542 with his feet. 23 total touchdowns, 17 of those come from passing, 6 come from rushing. Akari, one of those guys that can really change the game at any time. As you see, some of his action from last year can spin the ball. And really in these first couple of scrimmages, I've really seen a lot more touch and poise with him throwing the ball, and I'm excited to see that aspect of his game grow as the year goes on.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting with the weapons that he does have. And next we're going to have Jalen Bortley, who's going to be one of those weapons. Moving him to wide receiver this year is going to be exciting to see him once he catches the ball. Last year, he actually had 281 receiving yards and 8 total touchdowns, 5 of those through the air, and does play a little defense where he had 34 tackles and 4 of those for loss and a sack.
The main man carrying the ball this year, Caden McFadden, 308 rushing yards last year, 10 rushing touchdowns, 65 tackles on the defensive side, 7 of those for loss, half a sack, 3 forced fumbles, and 3 fumble recoveries. And if you look at Caden McFadden, I can tell you one thing, Pleasant Grove has a weight room, and that young man has visited it.
Yes, he has, and another young man that has also started to transform his body is Lance Jackson.
Yep.
And he is going to be a force out there on both the offense and defensive side. Last year, he had 46 tackles, 9.5 of those for loss, and also had 269 yards receiving. I think he's going to leave those stats in the dust this year.
Torion Phillips, wide receiver for the Hawks. We expect him to be able to take the top off of defenses at times, give Akari Johnson a deep threat target down the field. Also somebody capable of breaking some ankles and breaking tackles once he does get into open space. Torion had 287 total yards last year, 3 touchdowns, and on the defensive side, 29 tackles and 1 tackle for loss. And you see a lot of these young men do play both sides of the ball, and we're going to need a lot of that out of them this season as well.
My player to watch this year for Pleasant Grove is Jamon Wheeler. I have definitely been impressed with how he has progressed for this year. Last year he had 73 tackles, 8.5 of those for loss. Almost had 5 sacks, sitting at 4.5, and was had 2 forced fumbles. And I'm really excited to see him. He's another one of those players that spent a lot of time in the weight room this summer.
Xavion Johnson, the starting free safety this year, ended last year with 60 tackles, 3 interceptions, and that free safety position at Pleasant Grove, especially through the last several years, you've got a headhunter out there. You want somebody that can come downhill, give run support, but also has to be athletic enough. So many of the teams that we're going to meet up with are spread teams. You're going to have a good slot guy, and you better have a free safety out there that can play both sides of that game, the run and the pass, and I think Xavion is one of those kids that can do that. I'm really excited to see that out of him. Obviously, these are the guys we're watching, but 22 out there on the field is what it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of people working together. These coaches and players have been hard at it out there in the heat every day, getting ready for this season to come. And there's a lot of work that goes into football. We were talking on the way down here just what it takes logistically to bring football in. But the young men, the coaches that are down there, all these guys have been working, and so I'm just excited to get this thing kicked off tonight.
Well, I mean, you go back to just the 7-on-7 that the teams do now in the summertime, and the expectations are high for Pleasant Grove to go and do well at those tournaments, and they make it into the final rounds almost every time that they've done it the past few years. And then you start looking at the summer workout programs, and I think they had 30 or more that showed up with 100%
Yes.
attendance, which is just totally impressive. And then two-a-days, I was able to attend a couple of those and just saw them getting better each and every day, and just totally impressed.
I think one of the things that you notice – okay. All right, sorry about that. Yep, all right, time for the national anthem. All right. Always good to hear the national anthem right before a football game. And, a little rusty myself jumping over into that, but we'll be happy to get you there. That's one of those things we never worried about on the radio, because people couldn't see what was happening.
Well, and hopefully we've got 15 weeks to make that work.
Yes, sir. We'll get it ironed out. And, man, the Brock band sounded good playing that, though. That's one of those things. Here you are starting off and have to play a song that everybody knows, everybody has an opinion on. They did a great job starting that off. As we get ready for tonight's coin toss, the captains for the Hawks heading out there, number 55, Noah Sexton, number 57, Joseph Bailey. Of course, he is not in pads tonight. He was a little bit banged up there. Cade Martin out there, and also Akari Johnson.
And for the Brock Eagles, you're going to have number 52, Brock Riker, who is definitely going to be a name that we do say a lot tonight. Cam Harris, another player to watch for them. And then look at what number 3 is going to be Carson Finney, who I watched some film. Very, very good wide receiver for them. And then number 15, Cooper Massey, another going to be out of the backfield for them.
And this will be the last year that Brock is in 3A. They will move up to 4A next time. The Hawks win and elect to receive. So Pleasant Grove offense will get started off first tonight. And our starting lineup for Pleasant Grove at quarterback, number 2, Akari Johnson. The running back, number 1, Caden McFadden. The wideouts, number 8, Jalen Boardley. Number 9, Torion Phillips. The slot receivers, number 4, Jackson Gibson. Lance Jackson, number 40, will play the tight end. Across the front, the big men clearing the way for the Hawks at left tackle, number 70, Jaden Mathis. Number 76, Big Darrell Smith. Number 59, Caden Allen is the center. Number 75, Caleb Hackelman playing right guard. And number 56, Cade Martin will start off at right tackle for the Hawks.
And looking at defense for Brock, you're going to have at defensive end Cam Harris and Thomas Taylor coming in for their defensive tackles. Number 54, Hunter Fay, and number 52, Brock Riker. Middle linebacker is going to be Cooper Massey. The outside linebackers are going to be Luke Searley and Hyatt Dunaway. Safeties coming in at Vance Guthrie, Carson Finney, and then your corners are going to be played by Cale Bramlett and Colt Matlock.
So Jalen Boardley and Akari Johnson, the two men back deepest for the Hawks. We'll see if they have a chance to get the ball. Always interesting to see how people start off. We start off with some trickery, try to keep it short, but certainly some playmakers back deep for the Hawks capable of making something happen. Number 85 for Brock is set to kick. That is Caden Riddle, a senior. Hear the crowd getting into it there. I think they're all glad to be in the shade. Riddle, a short high kick. Fielded by one of the up men for the Hawks just inside the 40. He'll get it up to about the 44. That's where Pleasant Grove will take over 1st and 10. That was number 56, Cade Martin. So he plays a little offense, plays a little defense, and
has hands.
And as the first
and as the catcher,
yard
you have
pickup,
to.
yeah, I was going to say catcher on the Hawk baseball team. Yeah, you hope he can catch. The Hawks come out now with 2 receivers to the left side, 1 on the right side, tight end over on the right side as well. Johnson back in the gun, gets a low snap, hands it off to McFadden, and he's hit in the backfield immediately by one of the tackles for Brock. It'll be a loss back to the 42-yard line.
Yeah, my eyes are already starting to fail me a little bit, but that looked like that was Thomas Taylor off the defensive end, getting back there quick for the loss.
So now 2nd down and 12 for Pleasant Grove here on the first offensive drive, and this time they'll send the slot and wide receiver to the right side. 1 man alone to the left is Boardley. Corey Johnson gets it from the gun, rolls to his right, wants to throw, fires, incomplete. No, yeah, incomplete, knocked out, almost intercepted. That ball trying to get to Lance Jackson, number 10, Vance Guthrie, the man in coverage for Brock, and now it's 3rd and 12 for the Hawks.
Yeah, Vance tried to sell that as not hitting the turf, but the referee was there with the correct call, and I am interested to see what Pleasant Grove has dialed up for this 3rd and 12.
On 3rd down, the Hawks spread them out, 3 on the right side, 1 on the left side. Single back in the back with Johnson, and now looks like somebody on the left side of the line moved, and 3rd and 12 will become 3rd down and 17. So a little early game miscue here for the Hawks puts us behind the chains here on this first drive.
Well, more than likely that last play was going to be a pass play. We can probably guarantee that this one is.
Anything that's relatively certain, that's for sure.
Lance Jackson has definitely looked good in running that little seam route.
Johnson looks to his left, now steps up into the pocket, firing down the field, and it's going to be incomplete. Sails out of bounds to Jackson, and that one just floated a little bit too much for Akari. Not sure if him running forward contributed to that, but it will lead to a punt for the Hawks on 4th and 17.
Yeah, the sideline was the best defensive player for the Brock Eagles on that play. Brock back to accept this punt.
Sophomore number 7, Colt Matlock, is the man deep for the Eagles. Cade Martin, the punter for the Hawks, gets it off from about the 27. A low line drive punt, bounces inside the 30. And the return man picks it up, but he is bottled up immediately. Great coverage down the field by the Hawks. Number 25, the first man there, that's Terrell Patton. He's a sophomore for Pleasant Grove, and he was down the field waiting on that ball by the time it got there.
Yeah, I was surprised that Colt chose to try to advance that ball with the Hawks being so close, but he must have seen something that I did not.
Dangerous game. Dangerous game. So the Eagles come out on the 25-yard line, their first offensive drive. They'll look into the Hawks defense, the nose man, number 60, Eddie Tank, in the center of that Hawk defense up front. Tailback keeps the ball, or hands off rather, and he is bottled up immediately. We talked about Eddie Tank there across the front. Those other guys involved in that play, Lance Jackson, number 56, Cade Martin, and number 18, Jamon Wheeler. 2nd down and 10 now for the Eagles, and they want to use a little bit of tempo, it looks like.
Yeah, getting the plays called in from the sideline.
They'll split 2 receivers to each side, have a single back out left. Brody Woods, the quarterback, in shotgun. On 2nd and 10, Woods rolling to his left. Fires into the flat, caught. Little float route outside, number 5 for Brock is Tyler Butler.
Yeah, just over the hands of McFadden, and completion there for a gain. Just short of the first down by about 2 yards.
8 yards and out of bounds makes it 3rd down and 2 now for Brock. And again, they set the formation and then look to the sideline for the call. This time they send 3 receivers to the right side. On the right, there's a flag on the play. Looks like a free play for Brock, and we'll see it's intercepted. It's Savion Johnson picked it off from the free safety position, but there is a flag on the play. The Eagles are pointing at the Hawks, saying it's offsides. We'll see if that's what the call is. This is when you're hoping they were maybe drawn offsides. But you could tell the quarterback thought it was on the Hawks. He immediately threw the ball up deep, which is what you're taught, and it is offsides against Pleasant Grove. So the interception comes off the board, and it's a first down for Brock.
Yeah, unfortunate for Pleasant Grove to already have their second penalty for the night. Maybe just some pregame or preseason jitters.
Sets the Eagles up now, 1st and 10 on their own 38-yard line. Woods and company look over to the sideline, get the call in. Now look down to their wristbands to get the number. Tighter formation this time. 2 receivers stacked up on his right side. 1 man by himself to the left. Snap is back. Quarterback keeper, and he gets nowhere. Pleasant Grove sniffed that out in a hurry. The first man there looks like number 22.
Yeah, Buck Anderson in on the stop there.
Sophomore, had a great season last year as a freshman, played in quite a few games, and that's a big kid when you think about him being a 16-year-old.
Yes, he is, and he's also another one of the baseball stars.
Loss of 3 on the play makes it 2nd down and 13. Sorry about that. Yep, he played every game too in baseball. 2 on each side now. Woods back in shotgun, flank to his left by the tailback. He wants to throw. Looking left. Caught. Complete to number 13, Cotton Tanner. He gets back just across the original line of scrimmage up to the 40. It'll bring up 3rd down and 8. And it's a good time for this Hawk defense to stiffen up and either get a turnover or force a punt.
Yeah, good coverage there by Torian Phillips to keep that to a short game.
From the left hash, and it looks like they got the Hawks to jump again. Quarterback running backwards, pursued by several Hawks, fires it down the field, incomplete. There is a flag on the play.
Yeah, Jamon Wheeler there for the pressure.
We'll see what the flag is. It is on from the Hawks sideline. And once again, it's offsides against the Hawks. They say Eddie Tank got moving a little bit earlier.
Yeah, the hard count is definitely working for Brock tonight.
So now to make it 3rd down and 3. It's a little more manageable situation. If we can just have a repeat of the last play, then it'll be fine. And we'll force a punt here. Brock keeps the tight end in tighter this time.
And we
10 seconds on the play clock.
Yeah, we haven't seen them use Brett Tutter yet.
And they're going to have to call a timeout. I was noticing the play clock there. I could see the tight end was noticing it, and Brock forced to take an early timeout. We're going to take a timeout with them. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
Life is busy, and we get it. The State Bank mobile app was designed to make banking more convenient for you. Check account activity, make transfers, pay bills, and manage your debit card in a snap. You can deposit checks from the convenience of your home or wherever life lands you. The State Bank app lets you organize your accounts, manage alerts, and easily email our customer service experts. Now that you have State Bank at your fingertips, you can spend more time doing what's important to you.
Your family, your bank, State Bank.
All right, welcome back here to Royse City out of the Brock timeout. They come out on the field 3rd down and 3 from the 45-yard line. 2 receivers out to the right and 1 to the left. Brody Woods is the quarterback in shotgun. He wants to pass, has a man in his face, it's in the air, intercepted. Torian Phillips has it around the right side. He drops it, but it goes out of bounds. It will be Hawk football after the Torion Phillips interception. And, man, he saw a lot of green grass in front of him. The ball came out, but Pleasant Grove retains it. It'll be 1st and 10 Hawks inside Brock territory down at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, pressure came from the inside and just forced the quarterback just to throw it up like a free throw. And Torion Phillips was there for the interception. Probably had a little green grass in front of him, but I think he was probably pretty excited just to bring that ball down. But, 8:26 left in this first quarter. Pleasant Grove's ball on the Brock side of the field.
1st and 10 Hawks at the Brock 38. This time 2 receivers stack on top of each other to the left. 1 man by himself to the right. Quarterback keeper around the left side, and it's Akari Johnson all the way. Sniffed out by the Eagles, though, and they just kept stringing it out. Johnson never had anywhere to cut up field. Got back to the line of scrimmage, nothing else from there. It'll be 2nd down and 10, a designed quarterback run. And now the Hawks using tempo. They'll flip the formation, send 2 to the right side and 1 to the left. Akari fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, wants to throw, fires into the flat. Caught Jackson Gibson. It'll be close to 1st down yardage. They call him Gibby, and he jumped up and pulled that one down. It'll be 1 yard shy. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Ball inside the Brock 30 at the 29.
Yeah, I asked Jackson about being able to go up and get those balls with the size that he is, and he says, I know I'm going to get hit, so I might as well catch it.
Kid's got a ton of heart. I think we saw that last year in the Midland Christian game, and I've seen him in the scrimmages make several catches like that, and pretty impressive out there. 2 to the right side now, 1 to the left. Jackson, the tight end, is in the backfield on the right side as well. Handoff to K-Mac, and he is hit immediately. I'm not sure what happened in the middle of the line there, but
yeah,
no one was there. It was actually Nick Bales was the carrier on that. He's a sophomore.
Yeah, coming into this season, the O-line was going to be the question for me, and that was definitely a...
Hawks going for it on 4th down. Johnson wants to throw, going around the left side, tries to get it to Jackson, and it's just incomplete. Akari with a man in his face, lucky to salvage a pass at all, and I tell you, it was just shy of the fingertips of Lance Jackson. He had enough room in front of him. It was a good thought by Akari, but man, he had somebody in his face before he had a chance to do anything, and so the interception ends in a turnover on downs, and it will be back to Brock football.
Yeah, that was number 44, Cam Harris, with the pressure. And, I was trying to finish my thought before that play even started. But the offensive line is definitely the question for me for this Pleasant Grove Hawk team.
7:01 left in the first quarter, scoreless here. The Hawks have had 2 offensive drives. Brock coming out for their 2nd offensive drive of the night. This one starting just up from where the first one did at their own 33-yard line. They'll keep the receivers in tight on the right side of the formation. There's a ton of room on the right side of the field as they set up on the left hash. Brody Woods back in shotgun. Fakes the handoff. He wants to come to the left. He has a little bit of room. He meets a Hawk defender in the open field. Torion Phillips squares him up there, brings him down at the 38-yard line. It'll be a 5-yard pickup on 1st down. 2nd down and 5 now for the Eagles.
Yeah, Brody Woods had a pulling tackle that was going to try to free him up, but Torion there for a great stop for a short gain.
2nd and 5 now for the Eagles. Brody comes back, tries to pass out of the backfield, incomplete, and I tell you what, number 5, Tyler Butler, may be happy he didn't catch that ball because Torion Phillips was coming downhill and was about to have a meeting there around the 35-yard line. It falls incomplete, 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Torion recognized that little bubble screen quick and made the play to get off of the wide receiver that was trying to block him, and good play by him.
Yeah, and you talk about that. Being able to tackle an open field is one thing. Being able to shed a would-be blocker and then make a tackle is something else, and Torion really putting on a clinic first as far as how to do that on that play. 3rd down now. Hawks looking for a stop. 3 to the right side, nobody on the left side for Brock. Quarterback rolling left, keeping all the way. Several Hawks back there, and he will not make the corner. Torion Phillips, we've been talking about him all drive. 3 plays in a row. He's in the middle, messing up things for the Eagle. That time he just comes off tackle, meets the quarterback in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a couple back to the 35-yard line, and on 4th and 8, the Eagles send out the punt team, and Akari Johnson will be back deep.
Yeah, Torion was able to key on something there because he was running at full sprint across the line of scrimmage for that tackle for loss.
Akari Johnson standing back near his own 30 waiting on the punt. Punt rolls back, but the punter is able to get it up over toward the right side of the formation. It's going to bounce at the 35-yard line, take a roll for the Eagles, and it's going to go out near the 20. And they're going to mark it at the 21. So a defensive battle here in the first quarter. 6:08 left in the first. Each team has had 2 offensive drives, no score so far tonight.
Yeah, the line is definitely going to have to hold their own to allow Akari to be able to have time to be able to find his receivers, and probably going to see a lot of rolling Akari out until there is that comfort level for him to stay in that pocket tonight.
You'd like to be able to see maybe get the run game going a little bit. So far haven't had anything happening in that, but that'll help soften some things up as well. The Hawks will stack 2 receivers far out on the right side. 1 to the left side is Boardley. They throw it out. It's trying to get to Gibson, but it bounces off the ground and incomplete. Not quite enough sauce on that one from Johnson, and it bounces. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, it looks like Johnson actually bumped into McFadden while he was trying to make that throw.
2nd and 10 for the Hawks from their own 21. Handoff to K-Mac. He looks for some room. No, that's number 13 carrying that time. That's Nick Bells again. So he's got the call the last couple of drives. That time he finds a little bit of a seam around the right side, gets up across the 25 to the 28.
Yeah, Cam Harris was actually coming off the edge, and that allowed him to be able to get that gain of about 6 or 7 there.
3rd down and 5 to go for the Hawks. Need to keep an offensive drive going here. See if we can't sustain some things, get some time off the clock. Go down and punch this in for a score. 2 on the left side now, 1 to the right side for Akari Johnson. He moves Bells, the tailback, over to his left. Johnson rolling left, wants to throw, has a man in his face, pulls it down, and he's going to be brought down in the backfield. Too many blue shirts around him. Akari felt the pressure from the first man, was able to duck that, but when he did, there were 2 other Brock defenders waiting for him. It'll be a loss back inside the 25 to the 27. And on 4th down, Cade Martin comes in once again to punt for the Hawks.
Yeah, he ran right into Cam Harris, number 44, who's just been a very, very good coming off the edge, along with Thomas Taylor on the other side for Brock.
Colt Matlock back deep for the Eagles, and that ball very close to being blocked. Cade Martin able to get it off, though, and it takes a great roll for the Hawks. It'll be inside the 30, down near the 27. So from one 27 to the other, Cade Martin flips the field, and that's the weapon that a good punter is for a team. And now the Eagles start back on their side. And so both teams have worn out the middle of the field between the 25s.
Well, coming out again for Brock are going to be 2 tackles that both stand at 6'4". One of them weighs 285 and one of them weighs 265. So Brody Woods has to be pretty comfortable with both his front and backside.
No doubt. Hopefully he can see over them, but other than that, probably feels pretty good about having that much muscle in front of him. Woods comes out with 3 receivers to his right side, only the tight end to the left, and he's down on the line. Handoff tailback, looking for some room up the middle. He's able to get to the second level up across the 30.
Yeah,
that was 4 yards on the play. 2nd down and 6 coming up.
Yeah, that was the first touch by Brett Tedder, and I expect to see a lot of him tonight. His speed is pretty fascinating.
Back to the line now. Quickly are the Eagles with tempo in the same formation. Hard count. The Hawks jump, but not across. You can tell that was a game plan coming in to try to see, and it worked the first drive, but that time the Hawks able to remain onside. Quarterback rolling left. Look, quarterback keeper the whole way. Picks up 1 block, shoved out of bounds. Number 22, Buck Anderson, making the tackle. To be just shy of the first down, the Eagles need 1 as they get it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
Yeah, Buck actually took a step to the right before the ball, so he saw something that he was able to key off of to be able to keep him to a short gain there.
3:51 in this first quarter. A scoreless ball game so far. 3rd down and 1 now for the Eagles at their own 36-yard line. 1 man by himself on the right side, 2 men out left. The Hawks with 4 men down on the line. Tailback keeping the whole way. He'll have enough for the first down, but just enough. Gets it up to the 39-yard line. Caden McFadden, the first man there for the Hawks, and then several others join in with him. But Tedder is able to move the sticks, and it's 1st and 10, Brock at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, Cade Martin was in there as well for that stop.
Now the Eagles will send 2 to each side. Woods waiting on the snap. Checks the defense. Wants to pass, looking right, looking left. Now he's going to be flushed out of bounds, out of the pocket, but pulled down from behind, number 18 for Pleasant Grove. The first man there, Jamon Wheeler, and the senior records his first sack of the season, and the Brock quarterback will be brought down inside the 35-yard line at the 33.
Yeah, Jamon there basically just used his speed to get around that tackle and be able to bring Brody Woods down to the ground.
It's one of those two. You give some credit to the secondary. Woods had nowhere to go. He scanned the field a couple of times before he decided to try to run, and by the time he did that, Wheeler was there waiting for him. 3 to the left side now, 1 to the right side with the ball on the right hash for Brock. 2nd down and 16 to go. Now a flag comes in, and hard count may have fooled their own people that time.
Well, and definitely some heat coming in. Buck Anderson was coming in for a middle blitz.
Might make one of those linemen think he needed to get moving just a little bit early.
If Buck was running at me, I would move a little bit early.
Absolutely. That makes it 2nd down and 21 now for Brock. And the Hog defense in a good position here for a stop.
Yeah, down here on the bottom of the screen is Colt Matlock, and he's been a target of his during their scrimmages.
Woods from the right hash pulls in the snap. He wants to throw, and he gets nowhere and gets rocked. Caden McFadden with a nice how you doing meets the quarterback in the hole. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play, and might also be a little bit of loss of want to after that one.
Yeah, Caden actually came off a block and stayed in his lane when he was able to drop Brody right where they hit.
Clock rolling inside of 2 minutes now. 3rd down and 22 for the Eagles. Hog defense with a chance to stiffen up here and give the offense the ball in good field position. 3 to the left side now, 1 to the right side as Woods and company look at the play call from the sideline.
Yeah, they brought in a tight end to help protect that quarterback a little bit more.
And delay of game. It's the second time they've been close to that. The first time they burned a timeout. This time, I guess when you're that far behind the sticks, you go ahead and take the 5 yards, probably call something safe here, maybe try for a shot, and then be happy to get away with a punt. And so we'll see what this is. This is when the Hawk defense needs to have their eyes open for a possible interception.
And I expect Pleasant Grove to bring some pressure here.
2 to the left, 1 to the right. And they're just going to hand off, little safe play, and tailback is bottled up immediately. Buck Anderson is there to make the tag. Really, I think that man might have been tackled by the 21-yard line. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Jamon Wheeler actually was part of getting him down into the turf.
And so on 4th and 26, the Eagles will punt, and Akari Johnson is standing near his own 40, and we'll see this time if the senior gets a chance for a return. Low line drive punt to the right side of the formation. It's going to bounce dead, and it'll end at the 40. And so the Hawks get the ball 61 yards away from pay dirt, 45 seconds left in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, we're going to have a guest here with us, Greg Gold with AU Concepts. You're going to want to hear from him and some of the exciting things he has in store for the upcoming football season, both here and across the state of Texas. 44 seconds left in the first quarter, scoreless ball game. And Akari Johnson and the Hawks offense come back out on the field, 1st and 10 at our own 39-yard line.
As far as phases of the game, special teams and defense are definitely carrying it right now.
Quarterback keeper around the left side. He'll pick up a few yards up across the 40 to the 42-yard line. And that's probably going to be the way the first quarter ends. We'll see. It looks like we try to rush back and get anything called. There are more seconds on the play clock than there are on the game clock. Hawks will come out of the huddle, 2 to the right side, 1 to the left side. Bells still the tailback to the left of Johnson. He gets it, hands it off to Bells. He's trying to look for a seam. Little patient running there, but the defender for the Eagles, number 15, Cooper Massey, able to make the tackle, and that's the end of the first quarter. We are scoreless after 1. When we come back to start the second quarter, it'll be 3rd and 7 for the Hawks. We're going to take a break. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
Welcome back here to Royse City as we start the second quarter. Scoreless ball game so far. It's 3rd down and 7 for the Hawks. Ball at our own 42-yard line. Akari Johnson with 2 to the right side and 1 to the left wants to throw. Now he's going to pull it down, see what he can get with his legs. He gets up across the 45-yard line. Still be about 4 yards shy of the first down. We'll see if the Hawks elect to go for it. It looks like we're going to keep the offense out here on the field. Maybe a heavy package coming in.
Well, with the way the defense has been playing, I don't blame this call here.
Nope. Now we got the punt team back out there. There, Cade Martin comes in. So the Hawks set to punt. We are joined here in the booth by Greg Gold. Greg is with AU Concepts, and you have, if you don't know his name, I can promise you've seen his work in what he does, and one of the guys that makes the guys look good. And Greg, first of all, thanks for joining us here. Second day in a row on Texarkana Game Day. Yesterday you were at the game there at Texas High. Tonight here for the Hawks game here in Royse City.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys having me on. And yeah, it's like you said, it's good. I'm seeing both of my work tonight on both sides of the sideline. So yeah, nonetheless, a little partial to Coach Gibson, but nonetheless, it's good to see both teams out there battling tonight.
So you talk about seeing your work on there. Specifically, talk about what the folks are looking at that you are responsible for out here.
Well, I mean, it's the design and building a brand. So you talk about Brock, you talk about Pleasant Grove, and you look at it. When you see the PG, you know what that means. When you see that beagle, is that what they call it?
Okay, yeah.
You know what it means. And at the end of the day, those brands will never change. But what can you do to make it pop, right? And there's things that we can do and alter and update and make it shine a little bit more and make it pop. And so that's what I'm ultimately responsible for, is making that the best it could possibly be.
And so the helmets that the guys have, you designed both of those?
Yep, that is correct. And then, taking my spin on what they're wearing on their body, making that, and then a lot of times, we add stripes to kind of accentuate what they have on their body. Coach Gibson's not a big stripe fan, and that's okay. But Coach Mathis, he likes to work with the stripes a little bit, and so and ultimately that's what gives everybody their different look, right? And kind of differentiates one team from the other, and even from a team down the road versus the next. And so we don't do the catalogs, we don't do all that. You don't get to pick a stripe in a magazine. We design what you have going on that really accentuates your football program.
Nice.
Well, I spent a little time today looking at your social media and website, and one of the things that impressed me is just the statement that you have when it says, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you do good. Tell us what that means to you, knowing that you've got people making and feeling and doing good out there.
Well, again, it's kind of what we talked about yesterday on the set with Morgan, and it has everything to do with just kind of the era that we're in. And again, it's right, wrong, or indifferent. It is what it is. Kids these days want to feel and look good. And if they're not feeling, or they don't feel like they're representing what they're insinuating on the field, then ultimately we've got to change that look. So for me, when it's more than just, hey, when I walk into a coach's office, hey, we're going to do the same thing next year, we're going to do the same order, hey, we're just going to do the same order. No, it's, hey, what is this program? What's important to this program? What's important to this class? What's important to this group of kids than it was different than last year? And a lot of times it's the same or very similar, but ultimately we're creating something for these kids to feel good about themselves, and ultimately that's where my designs are derived from.
You know, so for those of us in the school business, I always say all the time, we're in the kid business, and the kid business is really just about relationships and about making them feel valued. And because exactly what you say, when they feel valued, when they feel good, we know that they're going to learn better. And so when you show up at a school, how do you make sure that they understand, hey, this isn't a cookie cutter thing. I'm giving you just as much of myself as I give the other school there, because I hear that passion in your voice. How do you convey that, and how do you maybe involve the students and the coaches in your design process to help come up with what you do?
And so for me, it's very easy. So I walk in and I ask the school and I ask the coach, hey, what's important to you? What are the things that your team wants to see on the field? It's me less protruding and more listening, and then I take what they tell me and then I put my creative spin on it, and then when I put it together and I send it to them, they say yes, that's it, and then we roll with it.
Now, besides the first helmet that you made, which was for your son, is what I was looking into.
That one was for sure, by the way, for me. For sure, 100%.
Besides that one, I mean, what helmet is your favorite? And I don't necessarily want to talk about the design of it, but the story behind it, as far as maybe the team or the organization that you designed it for.
I will say this. One of the helmets that put us on the map was the Flatonia helmet. This was 4 years ago, and I was thinking about, the coach was like, hey, we're Bulldogs, but every Bulldog's the same. We kind of use the same Bulldog head. You guys have seen it before. You can Google it. You can Google Bulldog logo, and you'll see this logo.
Right.
They have changed it since. However, he was like, hey, I want to do something different. And I said, okay. I said, how about we get something like involved with your town? And so I'll tell you what, I was trying to figure out at that point, okay, what can we do to make this helmet stand out that really reflects the football team and the community, right? Because ultimately that's what makes this special.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you look at all these colors and all these traditions. You see the black and gold over here, you see the blue and yellow over here. It's the community that's really making this that special, right? Because if you had 5 people here and 5 people there, this wouldn't feel near as much as the energy as you normally would. So anyway, back to that. I literally can't sleep one night. I'm watching TV, and it's Discovery Channel's on, and they're talking about the top 10 places to go in Texas for historical features.
Okay.
And sure enough, they're talking about Flatonia, Texas. It's one of the very first town. It was the very first town that established a railroad system. So I was like, here we go.
Yeah, now you got a direction.
Yes. So as fate would have, I'm like, railroad track. Perfect. So we roll into it, and I look into it, and they were talking about it, and so then I ended up taking like the stripe. I turned that into a train track.
Nice.
I added the original seal that was on the very first railroad system that was in I believe it was the Pacific Coastline is what it was called at the time. So I took that seal, put it on the back of their helmet, and literally they made a huge thing out of it. The mayor was involved with it.
Wow.
They did a cool presentation with it, and from there it was kind of like, all right, now we're going somewhere. And so for me, if I get the ability from the coaches to be able to do something creative like that, that's when I love to go in, go all out, and again, really represent what not only the football program, but you're tying in the program, you're tying in the community, you're tying in you're tying in the heritage of that town, which ultimately that's what these guys are playing for. You're representing your town.
Absolutely. Akari Johnson on the punt recovery here. Good series there by the Hawks. Brock was able to pick up a couple of first downs on that series. Hawk defense stiffened though, and now Pleasant Grove has it back at our own 25-yard line. 8:06 left in the first half of this scoreless ball game. So you talk about getting to know the schools, getting to know the culture. If you're somewhere else and somebody says, hey, I know you did some work over at Pleasant Grove, tell me about them. What do you tell them about Pleasant Grove?
I tell Pleasant Grove is very traditional. They're very streamlined. They're very to the point. when you see the PG, you know exactly what that stands for.
Yep.
They're one of the few that still kind of runs slot seat from time to time.
Yes, sir.
But nonetheless, Coach Gibson runs a program over there that you respect. And it's one of those things where you hear that name, Pleasant Grove, you're like, you know you're getting ready to play a squad.
Right. Good deal. Good deal.
Well, you mentioned community many times during our discussions. One of the things that I was excited to see about is tell us a little bit about your golden ticket.
Oh, so our golden ticket, and which again we're going to be doing again this year. And let me bring it back a little bit. When I started this whole company, when I very first started, like day one, it was like, okay, how many teams can I possibly get in the state of Texas, right? It was just like, I want to get 1,000 teams. I want to get 1,000 teams. And so then when you get that 1,000 teams, like, okay, all right, well, now what?
Yeah. Here we go.
So this is it. All right. But for me, I think about the game of football, and it kind of comes back to an argument that I had with a young lady one time where I was talking about why is football so important. And for me, it was because it can take you places that you've never seen or been before. And for me, little FYI, the first time I ever took a flight was on my very first flight was to Stillwater. That was the first time I ever flew on a plane.
Okay.
And ironically, I watched Final Destination the night before, which was completely irresponsible.
Bad movie to watch before you go on a plane for the first time.
But all went well, thankfully.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, you hear about players coming from bad neighborhoods, getting out of bad friendships, getting out of or making something of themselves just from the game of football. And so for me, it was like, okay, all right, so I'm doing this. What can I give back to this, right? It's take. You look at all these companies, and all they do is, hey, they show up on your doorstep with these schools, and they just want to take money. They just want to, hey, I just want to get an order. But what are they giving back, right? And it goes past the advertisement. Yeah, we do that. We market our teams for free and whatnot with our helmet spins. But ultimately, what are we giving back to these guys? And so for me, as a kid coming from Irving, I'm not going to give you the poor black kid story, but, we didn't come from much. And ultimately, football got me out of Irving and has really provided me the life that I'm at now. And so for me, it was like, okay, what can I give to these kids that just need just one little chance? And I was watching the state championship, and there was this running back that was playing for Franklin, and he was just killing it. And I texted the coach and man, this kid's a stud. He's got to be going somewhere. He's like, man, Gold, he's not going anywhere because nobody's really looking at him because he's quote-unquote undersized. And I'm like, oh, well, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, they're balling out there.
Right, exactly. And so for me, I was like, okay, kind of like the light bulb clicked. Okay, what can I give and provide back to these student athletes that are out there literally breaking their backs, working their butts off every single day, and just for whatever reason, they're not getting a look. Right, wrong, or indifferent, how can I help that? So for me, I give back. We did $5,000 last year. We're doing $10,000 this year. We select 5 kids that are student athletes. That we give them a piece of that pie, and it's our way of giving back and saying, hey, not only are we trying to encourage kids, but we're trying to actually give back to these kids so they can actually do something out in society.
And so how do they qualify for this? And so I got to take you're doing $2,000 a piece for these kiddos. How do they qualify, and or how are they nominated?
Yep, so we'll release this just like we did last year. We'll release it, but ultimately they'll send like a 1-minute video telling us why it's important for them to continue their collegiate career, moving forward. And again, for me, I'm not looking for the top D1 kid. I mean, obviously they don't need help if they're getting recruited by every team in SEC. We're looking for the kid that's good enough. He works hard. The student body respects him. The teachers respect him. We're looking for kids that give back to the community in different ways. Not all the same, but the qualifications are basically, hey, are you a model student? Are you a model player? Yes. And are you something that the next generation can look up to and say, yes, that was exactly what inspired me to be a better person?
Nice. And that's that thing you can – it's good to see your work on the field. It's good to hear your heart, though, here, because I can tell it's for kids, right?
Yeah.
I can tell that.
I don't know if Morgan told you, but I'm a passionate guy, man.
We don't get in the school business without it, and so I love to see it. Big play here for Brock. Go around the left side of Kari Johnson, saving a would-be touchdown. Several Pleasant Grove players had a chance on the front end of that. That's just a good run there by the tailback, and the Eagles are now set up right near midfield.
Well, Greg, tell us how programs and coaches can get in touch with you.
They can through our website, for sure. They can reach out. Most of these coaches have my contact number. If not, they know a way of getting in touch with me. But my email, my phone number is available on our website. We can also go to Twitter. We're very involved. In fact, we've become so involved in the Twitter game that I had to hire a team this year.
Wow.
To be able to do our spins and to be able to communicate and keep in touch and keep communication very quickly. Because we it's a blessing, and I mean this humbly, but we have been very busy in the social media world, especially on Twitter as the platform, or X, whatever you can call it at this point. But nonetheless, those are the ways you can get in touch with us, and we'd be more than happy to kind of guide you in the right direction.
Well, man, thank you so much for joining us. Again, AU Concepts, you can look them up, find out what they do, more importantly, see how they give back to kids. We appreciate who you are. We appreciate what you did. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
And, hey, we'll see you in AT&T Stadium maybe at the end of December. How about that?
Absolutely. I'm in there.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much. We're going to take a break. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day. All right, folks, welcome back here to Royse City. We're in the timeout. 5:15 left in the first half of this scoreless ball game. It was great to be joined by Greg Gold with AU Concepts. And again, you can see his handiwork on the helmets that the Hawks wear, also the ones that Brock is wearing tonight. But like I said to him, and I even said it off the air as well, really just good to hear the passion of somebody that you can tell cares about kids. And good for him. He's found a way to make some money off of it. That's always the goal, right?
Well, I went on his website today, and he dropped a pearly black helmet for Stephen F. Austin. That is, I mean,
something we're going to have to check out.
To try to use a younger person's language, it was lit.
It was lit. I like it. Man, look at you. Look at you jumping out there, Jay. 1st and 10 at the 47 for the Eagles. Handoff, big wide sweep around the right side, picking up a couple of blocks. It's number 88 carrying the ball for them. Britton Burrows picks up about 5 yards on the play, gets it across midfield into Pleasant Grove territory. And this drive, man, it started. The Hawks made some great plays down inside the 20, and really just one big run for Brock set them up here, and now just inside Hawk territory as the clock rolls inside of 5 minutes remaining in this first half.
I think Brock has realized that it may be a little easier to go to the outside than try to stay in the middle, where Pleasant Grove's been able to give some pressure.
Last year, this game was close at the half. Hawks able to pull away in the second half. We'll see if tonight bodes similar. This time, though, too much time and too many Hawks. Sacked. Back in the backfield is Woods, the first man there for Pleasant Grove. You've called his name several times tonight, number 18, Jamon Wheeler, and that young man is having himself a first half.
He is, and had Jamon not gotten him down, K-Mac was about to lower the boom as well. So pressure up the middle is definitely been the answer for Pleasant Grove tonight against these Brock Eagles.
Couple of sacks on the night for Jamon, and it moves the ball back behind the sticks. It'll be 3rd down and 11 now for Brock, and they're a little bit slower to the line this time. 2 receivers to each side. Woods back in the shotgun. He wants to throw. Looks right, now back left. Tunnel screen across the middle. Has a man. That's number 3. The receiver for them, and he is hit hard on the sideline, knocked out of bounds by number 2, Akari Johnson, coming across to make that. Yeah, it is number 2. It looked like 7 the way it was shaped. But it is enough for the first down, 1st and 10 for Brock. Just a little tunnel screen there into the middle, found some room. Carson Finney, senior receiver, he looked like one of those small receivers that the Patriots had for so many years.
Brock's established some momentum here.
2 to the left, 1 to the right side now for Woods. Handoff up the middle. Find a little seam. Tailback keeps his feet driving. Takes a couple of Hawks with him, and on a play when he was hit right near the line of scrimmage, he gets it down inside the 35-yard line, down to the 33. Turned what should have been 2 yards into about 7.
Yeah, Brett Tutter did a little power there at the end to get those extra yards.
And the Hawks will now take a timeout. They need a breather, also trying to get somebody off the field. We're going to take a timeout with them. 3:40 remaining in the first half. Scoreless ball game. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
You've spent years working hard to create your financial security. Reward yourself with a checking account designed specifically for you by a bank that shows you the outstanding level of customer service you deserve. With State Bank's Elite Checking, you can qualify for a competitive rate of interest, no monthly service fee, free checks, and superior customer service. Let State Bank be your bank for service, relationships, and living life to its fullest.
What's it like at Texarkana College? Life-changing. Starting here means you can go anywhere. We offer student support, student life, dual credit, and hands-on training. And now you can enroll anytime. We'll help you start your future at Texarkana College. Get started by visiting us on campus or online at texarkanacollege.edu. Your future starts here.
2nd and 3 now for the Eagles after the Hawk timeout. 2 to the left side, 1 to the right side for Woods. Handoff tailback, and he is bottled up immediately by number
Cade Martin.
56, Cade Martin. Trying to read the wrong name off of here. I knew it wasn't right. I didn't read it, but I couldn't get to the right one. Big play by Cade, and it'll be 3rd down and 3 to go now.
Well, Isaiah Wooten has come in for Cade.
Giving Martin a little breather, playing both sides of the ball tonight. The Eagles spread the Hawks out with 2 wide to each side. Single tailback is lined up to the right of the quarterback. Woods wants to throw. Quarterback keeper, and he is hit and bottled up quickly. Pause for just a second to try to run. Maybe a little delay there, and the Hawks sniffed it out. Number 54, Kamarion Jones, a sophomore. Tackle is the first man in there. And they'll bring up 4th down for the Eagles, and they're going to keep their offense on the field here inside the 40. As we get just inside 2.5 minutes left in this scoreless first half.
Yeah, defense looking good tonight. It may come down to needing the defense to put the first points on the board for Pleasant Grove.
And a lot of times your early games, defense is a little bit further along, it seems like. It's just one of those things you see in the NFL as well. Brock wants to take a timeout, though, and talk about it. We're going to take one with them. There's so many sponsors who help bring this to you. We're going to talk about one of them here. This is Texarkana Game Day. This is Pleasant Grove Hawk football.
Here at Local Habit Coffee Company, we are true coffee connoisseurs and the area's only third wave coffee shop. We are excited as football and fall rolls around to introduce this year's fall drink lineup. We have an all-organic homemade pumpkin spice latte, a delicious s'mores latte, and finally, a smoked maple bourbon cortado that can only be described as fall in a cup. No matter what your preference, you can get your dose of fall right here at Local Habit. We cannot wait to see you in one of our shops, and remember to go make something good happen.
All right, coming out of the timeout here, Brock wanted to talk about it. 4th down and 6 on their own 36-yard line. The Hawks defense coming out here, needing a stop, and we'll see what the Eagles do here. What's your call here on this 4th down, Jay?
I want to go with the quarterback keeper.
Had a little bit of success with it. The tunnel screen has done some stuff too, not set up for that. Quarterback wants to roll to the left, looking to throw, doesn't have anywhere to go, pulls it down, and I tell you what, that little pop at the end is going to give him just enough to move the sticks, and you called the play, he executed the play. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles.
Yeah, Brody has done a good job tonight whenever he's had to advance the ball, and once again, Brock, 1st down.
1st and 10 now for the Eagles at the Hawk 30-yard line as the clock rolls inside of 150. See, you got a little confusion over there. Maybe we got a timeout. There's a timeout by the Hawks.
It's just going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here.
Stay here with it. We do have some scores from around our district and the area. Spring Hill is trailing Sabine 64-20, or they lost that game, rather. Harmony is up over my alma mater Hooks 8-7. 9:22 left in the first half of that one. Mount Pleasant up 24-7 over the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kilgore and Carthage tied at 7. 8:36 left in the first quarter there. Paris up early over Salina 7-0. Gilmer leading Tyler Chapel Hill 7-6 early in that one. 7:36 left. And of course our game here is scoreless. I don't have anybody checked in at the Henderson Liberty ILO game on the Friday night football app, Dave Campbell's, with that app for following football across the state of Texas. Out of the timeout now. Brock comes out first and 10 at the Hawk 30. 1:47 left in the first half, and they'll have 3 receivers stacked up on the right side, 1 man by himself to the left. Brody Woods with the hard count, doesn't get a jump, hands it off. Nope, quarterback keeper. He fooled me and a couple of Hawks. Just followed the tackle straight up the hash mark there. 5-yard pickup on first down. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, Brody definitely their leading rusher at this point in time. I'd probably keep calling his number.
2nd and 5 for the Eagles. Same formation. Rolling to the right is Woods. Wants to throw. Firing down the field. Intercepted. First down, Hawks. Number 9, Xavion Johnson, the senior, pulling that one down. He read the quarterback the entire way. It stops the Brock threat, and the Hawk offense is back in business, this time in the shadow of our own end zone. But it is 1st and 10 Hawks. Good play by Xavion Johnson.
Yeah, that defense continues to give pressure on Brody as he's trying to throw the ball, and basically just did not have enough on that to be able to get it back to his receiver. And Xavion there able to catch that and get out of bounds. See what Pleasant Grove can do with 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in this half.
Corey Johnson and company back out on the field. He gets the snap in his own end zone, wants to run, looking for some room around the right side, and he has it. Gets up across the 10-yard line. He'll be near first down territory. They'll give him credit for about 9 yards on the play, up across the 10 to the 13-yard line. And the Hawks quickly back on the field. Faking the handoff, throwing incomplete. Had a man in his face, I tell you what. Johnson had to try to throw it there, number 44.
Yeah, Cam Harris there again.
Got some fingertips on it. He was trying to get the ball out to Landon West. Incomplete pass stops the clock. 52 seconds remaining. 3rd down and 2. Ball at our own 13-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left, 1 to the right side now. Corey Johnson rolling to his left. Pulls it down. He'll have enough for the first down and more. Gets up across the 20. Pulled down just inside the 25 at the 23-yard line. And so the senior triggerman able to use his feet to keep this drive moving. Now they flip the formation, send 2 receivers to the right side. Gibson inside the slot over there. I got moving a little bit early, but there's no flag. Akari wants to throw, rolls to his right, fires, caught, and out of bounds. First down, Hawks all the way at the 39-yard line. Jackson Gibson with the reception. His helmet comes off, so he's going to have to take a play off. He got back out there. Yeah, no, he's got to take a play off. Hawks get a man in for him as the clock rolls inside of 36 seconds. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Fake the handoff. Akari pulls it down, fires, caught. Ball bounces out. Is he down on the ground? Let's see what happens. The ball is on the ground. Brock says they have it. We'll see what the call is. I think he was down. Yep, they say that was the call. We're on the home side, if you don't know, on the Brock side. That's why you hear the boos.
Yep, 2 birds here tonight, the Hawks and the Boo Birds.
KJ Reeder on that reception. He's the one that came in for Gibson in the slot. Now we got a man slow to get up down there on the field. First time we've seen somebody with cramps out there on the field tonight. We talked about the heat, and
I'm really surprised it's been this long into the game until we had someone with cramps. Even though it did, there was a slight breeze as the game started, but the American flag is dead still right now.
And it was still, I think my dashboard thermometer said 108 when we got here. So it's still pretty warm out there. And so that man for Brock, and that may be one of the, maybe there where he was hurting a little bit, and maybe they said, hey, son, it's going to take you just a minute to get up.
I'm interested in seeing what Pleasant Grove's going to do this last 26 seconds. One name that we haven't called yet who has made the move to wide receiver that we discussed is Jalen Bordley.
Yep.
So I would like to see Akari, maybe target him and just see what he can do once he gets the ball in his hands.
Be a good time to see number 8. It's 1st and 10 for the Hawks at midfield. 50 yards away, 26 seconds to work with. 2 receivers right side, 1 left.
Bordley's in the backfield.
Bordley at tailback. Akari fakes the handoff to him, wants to throw. Trying to get to him on a wheel route. Incomplete, he went out of bounds. And there's a flag that comes in late. And we'll see if they say he was pushed out of bounds. He was covered. He was trying to get down the field, and we talked about him wanting to get to him. There they were trying to on the wheel route out of the backfield.
Yeah, good coverage by Brock there, even though I do think that he had his hands on him a little early.
Maybe assisted with Bordley going out of bounds. You saw the hat off of the referee to indicate going out of bounds, and then the flag came in, maybe saying, well, he didn't go out of his own volition. He was helped out there. And they're going to get out there and discuss it for a while. Who knows what's going to come out of it at the end. All right, so much like the Shakespeare play, Much Ado About Nothing, they say it was uncatchable. And so we go to 2nd down and 10.
Had I not been a Pleasant Grove fan, I was going to say that out loud. But
sometimes our fandoms can get in the way, and it's okay. We are homers, and we wear that. 2 to the right side, 1 to the left side. Akari Johnson wants to throw. Drops back, rolling to his right now, looking for some room. Lots of coverage down the field. Pass is caught, complete to number 8, Jalen Bordley. There is a flag on the play. It's going to be offsides against the Eagles. Of course, we will decline that. The result of the play is a first down all the way to the 32-yard line. 10 seconds, though, now left in the first half, and the Hawks quickly back to the line waiting on the signal to go. Clock is running. Akari wants to throw, fires, caught by Jalen Bordley. And he steps out of bounds just past the sticks near the 21-yard line. 4 seconds left, and the Hawks are going to break out another weapon. The kicker, number 19, Carter Buxton.
Carter Boot Buxton.
We got him a nickname in there.
I just gave it to him.
40-yard field goal attempt. And Pleasant Grove wants to talk about something. Oh, got somebody not out there where they were supposed to be.
Well, you can't take timeouts with you.
Can't take them with you, but tell the coaches were maybe a little bit frustrated that it was because of a personnel issue. But regardless, 4 seconds left, and Buxton, a recent addition to Pleasant Grove, just moved in, and we're back during maybe back in the springtime. And man, the other day during the scrimmage, he was kicking extra points and bouncing them off the state champion sign down there in the end zone, which is 80 feet past the end zone, by the way. And we know that because on the other end, Hawk fans, if you haven't been out to the stadium, when you show up next week, there's a building on the other end that wasn't there before. It's 80 feet away. And
well, I know that we're within his range because I
Yes.
chatted with him at the last scrimmage, and he said game time, he says within 50 he's comfortable.
well, this one is from 39 from the right hash. Jackson Gibson is the holder. Landon West, the long snapper. Ball is down. The kick is up, and it's good. And as the time expires, the Hawks score. There is a flag on the play. Running into the kicker against the defense is declined, and so the kick is good.
The boot is good.
The boot is good. We'll see if that one sticks with us. So your score at halftime, Pleasant Grove 3, Brock 0. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have a performance by the Hawk Showstoppers as well as the Pride in Motion Pleasant Grove High School Band. We'll take a break and be back for halftime. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
Life is busy, and we get it. The State Bank mobile app was designed to make banking more convenient for you. Check account activity, make transfers, pay bills, and manage your debit card in a snap. You can deposit checks from the convenience of your home or wherever life lands you. The State Bank app lets you organize your accounts, manage alerts, and easily email our customer service experts. Now that you have State Bank at your fingertips, you can spend more time doing what's important to you.
Your family, your bank, State Bank.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room, MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
Senior Lieutenant Leon Hornsby. Senior Lieutenant Brianna Jackson. Senior Lieutenant Laura Jordan. The showstopper captain is Senior Joyce Ramos. The showstoppers are under the direction of Mrs. Christy Robinson and will perform the field jazz routine to our center standing room.
So they're the Pleasant Grove Showstoppers making their way out there for the game and or halftime rather.
The Showstoppers have somewhat of a big deal this year.
Yes, sir.
So we're looking forward to bringing.
Yeah, this is 40 years, right?
Correct. And so it'd be interesting to see all of the girls coming back and the directors. Very, very storied and successful program that Pleasant Grove has put out there.
And two of the Davis girls, alumni of this
Absolutely.
program as well. So who did they get all that rhythm from? Is this a mom thing, a dad thing, or?
You know, I'm going to take it.
We might have to see a high step before this thing is over.
I've done a cartwheel in front of my girls and friends.
All right, so that is the showstoppers as they kick off year number 40. And last year, they were once again national champions in every segment they entered. So there are, it's like military dance and traditional and high kick, and you probably know more about this than me, but every one of them that we entered in our division, in our side, we were national champions. That's pretty stinking impressive.
Well, they put so much effort in. I know everybody knows about two-a-days, and they just associate that with football. But the two groups that are out there during halftime, they're out there the same exact day.
Yes, sir.
And you've also got some summer camps that the drill team does.
Yep.
And I mean, it is amazing. I've shared the story before, but not until my girls were doing it did I really realize the effort and the athleticism that the drill team took.
Absolutely.
And bruises, sweat, tears, it's all there.
All the things.
Yes.
All the things. That may just be on a Tuesday.
Right.
Now the Pride in Motion Pleasant Grove High School Band is taking the field. Their show this year is titled Ascension. So you can see the variety of things they have out there. People have been climbing up and down those things. Tonight they're going to put on the first 2 segments of 4 segments of their show. And, a lot of times you may see some bands the first game, maybe the second game, they'll just go out there, stand in one spot, maybe play some stand tunes or that kind of stuff. Our band is putting basically half of their competition show on the field here before September. And that goes into what you talked about. They started on July 16th with their practices. And Mr. Sutton and his entire team have really just pushed this band and challenged them to be the best. They want to go to San Antonio this year. Last year, they were 1 place point away from making it to San Antonio, and I think that's stuck with a lot of those kids and the directors, and so this year they have their eyes set on making it down to the state championships in San Antonio, and so tonight we will see the first 2 segments of Ascension.
Well, we talk about this, the summer and that all of these groups put in, and it's amazing the community support that I saw for each of the organizations with bottles of water
my goodness, yes.
donations. And so, it's fun for these organizations to be able to come back out and perform for the community just to show what they were able to showcase and learn.
Absolutely, yeah. Texarkana Emergency Center, Dr. Young and them, and Tony Langford showed up with an entire pallet of water, and I guarantee you these kids went through it. So we're going to turn it over to them now. This is the Pride in Motion Pleasant Grove High School Band.
and play center, assisted by Kenny Digby. Kevin Sykes, Anna Center, Kevin Center, and Ed Whistle. This week's selection of the week is the Marathons. Veteran of the week is Antonio Manuel. And the member of the week is Dave Anthony. We would like to thank the Physical Band Booster Club, School Board, and the administration for the continued support of our program. Go Hawks!
Here at Local Habit Coffee Company, we are true coffee connoisseurs and the area's only third wave coffee shop. We are excited as football and fall rolls around to introduce this year's fall drink lineup. We have an all-organic homemade pumpkin spice latte, a delicious s'mores latte, and finally, a smoked maple bourbon cortado that can only be described as fall in a cup. No matter what your preference, you can get your dose of fall right here at Local Habit. We cannot wait to see you in one of our shops, and remember to go make something good happen.
What's it like at Texarkana College? Life-changing. Starting here means you can go anywhere. We offer student support, student life, dual credit, and hands-on training. And now you can enroll anytime. We'll help you start your future at Texarkana College. Get started by visiting us on campus or online at texarkanacollege.edu. Your future starts here.
Life is busy, and we get it. The State Bank mobile app was designed to make banking more convenient for you. Check account activity, make transfers, pay bills, and manage your debit card in a snap. You can deposit checks from the convenience of your home or wherever life lands you. The State Bank app lets you organize your accounts, manage alerts, and easily email our customer service experts. Now that you have State Bank at your fingertips, you can spend more time doing what's important to you.
Your family, your bank, State Bank.
Tonight's showcase, Gameday portrays the brutal pilgrimage of youth on the quest toward emotional adulthood. At first, then, they journey the days that invincible fortified walls of safety and protection. Gradually, not without help, they now inches into a new territory, expanding their knowledge and skills until their safety goals are no longer needed. Feeling strong and renowned, they now finally emerges as emotionally fortified adults reconstructed by those very walls that previously kept them small. Join us now as we proudly present Gameday. adjustment down the programs. Thank you.
All right, folks, we are at halftime here. Your score at the half: Pleasant Grove 3, Brock 0. And first of all, just a little bit about that first half there, man. Both defenses really kind of getting the better of the offenses. For most of the game, the offenses stayed inside the 20s. Brock threatened one time. I think we stopped it with an interception right down there at about the 3-yard line. But other than that, offenses would get a little bit of momentum, get something going, but then the defensive stiffened there. But the Hawks do get on the board with a 39-yard field goal just as time expires. What's your biggest takeaway coming out of the first half, and what are you going to be looking for going into the second half?
Well, just some of the standout players that I noticed on the Brock Eagles. Number 44, Cam Harris, just continues to cause Pleasant Grove issues. And so, that's going to be one. And then number 52, Brock Riker.
Yep.
I know that he has been involved in a lot of, of the defensive stands, but we really haven't called his name as much as I really thought that we would.
Yep.
So I expect him to come out, with a vengeance this second half, with it being his senior year. And then Colt Matlock, continues to be doing a good job outside, playing that cornerback position. But overall, just thoroughly impressed with Brock's defense. The linemen, we talked a little bit, they are just having their way
yes, they are.
with the Pleasant Grove line right now.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see if there's any sort of war or attrition. How do both teams come out of second half? Does the heat start to get to one team more or the other? Similarly sized, if you look, Brock is down a division, but they're much bigger than a 3A school. They're growing fast out there where they are. They bring as many kids out here tonight as we do. So basically the same size team starting off. So I don't think you'll have a big difference as far as that goes. Both teams, I think, have a lot of guys playing both ways. But honestly, I think we could either end this game at 3-0 or it may be end up one of those things that's 35-27 because the offenses finally get something kicked off in the second half. I'll tell you what, we got about 4 minutes left. I want to talk about some of the things happening around Pleasant Grove. I know you had a chance to catch up with Kristen Giles. She is our principal at the high school, does just an amazing job, one of those people that loves kids, loves her job, and really is doing some awesome things at that high school. And she was telling you about some things going on there at PGHS that she's excited about. And what are some of those things y'all talked about?
Well, we've got a new CTE director, Kendra Bates, and she brings in a lot of experience and knowledge into the CT program. And, we're just, looking to, grow that program.
Right.
And we feel that she's going to be the right person to do that. And then one of the things I'm excited about is we've added, new courses, some of them law enforcement and engineering.
Nice.
Law enforcement right now, we've got a shortage. And then
Yes,
Texas A&M has expanded their engineering program.
Right.
So this is going to be phenomenal for the Pleasant Grove students to be able to, take advantage of both of those. Student council has more than 100 students involved in student council this
Wow.
year, which is just impressive.
Yeah.
And for those that are interested in the theater arts, the Play Oklahoma is what Pleasant Grove has chosen to do for the fall.
And they're practicing late 3 nights a week, I can tell you, because I'm up there having to pick mine up at 9 o'clock.
Yes, and volleyball has started out very, very
on a
strong.
tear, yep.
And so they're actually playing in the White House tournament this weekend and expect great things out of that. And for those of you that want to chase people, cross country has a competition in Gilmer tomorrow. I will not be there. I don't do any kind of running, you can tell. But Coach Chastain and that team, I tell you what, they are at the middle school all the time. You go early in the morning, those guys are out there running, guys and gals. He's one of those guys that came in with a passion for cross country, really got kids excited about it, has a large team. And I can tell you that in cross country in Northeast Texas, people know who Pleasant Grove is. That's a great program that's just continuing to grow around
the high school.
Yeah, my wife's a runner, and she has mentioned throughout the summer how much that they have already put in as far as miles on those shoes. And another organization within the district, Varsity Tennis, is competing tomorrow against Melissa and Anna, and they've started out with some big wins so far this year.
Yep.
And then, of course, we got to see the band. They're preparing for their season competition and getting ready for that all-region band competition. And it's interesting. If you have not experienced a band competition on a Saturday, they're incredible.
And I tell you, you will have your opportunity on our bye week, which is September 29th or 30th, whatever that Friday is that we don't have a football game. That next day on Saturday at Hawk Stadium, we will be hosting a band competition. One, come out. You can support the Pleasant Grove Band by being a part of it. I guarantee you we need volunteers to do a ton of things. We'd love to have you for that. But two, you will get to see some of the best bands across Northeast Texas. There is a great community of bands and band directors around the area that you'll want to see. We talked about that CTE program. That's Career and Technical Education, if you don't know, and that's all the things like health science and engineering and robotics and PGTV that we're going to be able to do some cool things with here coming in the near future. Graphic design in those classes, and we added 13,000 square feet to the high school as part of the bond projects that have been going on around the school, and that added 11 classrooms. So, man, come check that out. Big robotics suite. Mr. Mullins and his guys in there are able to get their robots prepared. They made it to the World Championships last year. Once again, that's a program that is growing and is really doing a great job. 2 engineering classrooms are down in there. Caleb Watson has a classroom down there teaching math and engineering as well. And then the second floor is a health science floor. PGTV has a brand new studio down there that they're getting outfitted and ready to go. And then 2 graphic design classes and business graphics and those types of things are happening there. And it's a great extension to the school, and all that's getting finalized. So come in and see that. Also around the high school, if you noticed in the front, the wall of the cafeteria is gone. And that's because we were about to add a new 500-seat cafeteria. We have a ton of kids at the high school, which is a good problem to have, and we're going to have a cafeteria, lots of glass, lots of visible light to be able to see inside there. It's going to be a beautiful space to meet and for those kids to have that. And you talk about student council. There's actually a meeting room off of that for that cafeteria that they will be able to have those student council meetings, and it's a room that can be divided in half, or it can be really large, and so you can have that group of 100 kids. And then the front of the middle school, if you notice that, if you drop your kids off over there, looks like a big mess going on. Well, that's because we're about to extend the front of the middle school out and have that. So just exciting things going on around Pleasant Grove. We'd love to show them to you. And then again, next Friday when you show up down there on the north end, a new field house being built for our student athletes, and it'll be used by student athletes in a variety of areas, especially the big training room down on the front. And so good stuff going on there.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to speak with the band before we left town today and shared with them that I was a graduate of 90 and the first group that went through all 4 years at that high school, and I told them that it's definitely changed a little bit.
A little bit different. All right, getting ready to kick off the second half here, number 19, Carter Buxton, set to kick off for the Hawks from our own 40, going left to right. High end-over-end kick will send the return man all the way into the end zone. He's going to bring it out from there, and that was ill-advised. He is rocked hard, brought down Caden McFadden, met the return man number 5, Tyler Butler, and so Brock will start inside their own 10-yard line at the 7-yard line as we get started in the second half. Pleasant Grove leading 3-0 as we get the third quarter rolling.
Yeah, the boot kicks that ball all the way into the end zone, and Pleasant Grove is starting out well on the defensive side because Brock is definitely within the shadow of the goalpost.
This will be a great time to get a turnover, see something happen on this defense. 3 receivers to the left side, nobody on the right side now for Brock is Brody Woods. Stands at the 2 in the shotgun. Hands the ball off to the tailback, and he gets nowhere. Brought down in the backfield, and who is it? None other than Jamon Wheeler. And if there is a player of the game so far, that young man is making a case for himself.
Yeah, he's had a great night tonight. Not only is he making some great tackles, and that one for loss, but a couple of sacks already, but just the pressure alone that he is putting on this Brock Eagle team.
5-yard loss on the play makes it 2nd down and 15 to go for Brock. And now they're not in the shadow of the end zone. They're standing in the middle of it. Brody Woods looks into the Hawk defense, rolls to the right. Being pursued by McFadden. Ball's tipped in the air. And there's a flag on the play. I don't know if they're going to call. I don't know if they're saying that he got hit afterwards, or maybe in the area of a hold, but we'll see what the call is. If it's against the Hawks, it's going to be a big boost to Brock. So we'll see what the call is here.
Personal foul.
Personal foul, face mask against the Hawks, and so not what you wanted there. Not only is it a 1st down, but 15 yards gives Brock some breathing room, and now all of a sudden it's 1st and 10 all the way out at the 17-yard line.
Yeah, Brock now in the position to have the entire playbook open to them.
2 receivers split to each side with Woods and shotgun. Looks to his left, wanting to throw quickly. Ball is tipped in the air, incomplete. Good coverage that time by the secondary men for the Hawks. In coverage there is number 2, Akari Johnson.
Yeah, and I think if Akari had actually gone for the ball, he may have had an opportunity to get an interception.
And that was actually Torian Phillips there.
Okay.
They roll these jerseys up, and makes it hard for me to see what's going on out here. My goodness. We're getting old, Jay. We were just talking about it. How hard it is to see. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left side now for the Eagles. 2nd down and 10 from the 17. Hand off to the tailback, looking for room around the right side, and he gets none. Instead, he runs into a wall named Caleb Hackelman. A flag comes in late. Great play by big Caleb Hackelman, though. Wraps up the ball carrier and brings him down. But we'll see what the flag is coming in from the near sideline.
Yeah, with it being that late, I'm very interested in knowing what this call is going to be.
Been a little extracurricular activity at the end of this play. Saw a couple of the Brock players high-fiving each other at the end of it over here who weren't involved in any of the play. It's a personal foul against the Hawks, so they must have tried to make that happen, and then they did. I didn't see what happened there. I was watching the play. Regardless, 2 15-yard penalties have moved this from inside the 5-yard line all the way up across the 30. The Hawk defense giving this Brock offense some life. 2 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left now. A hard count, and now the snap. Tailback coming left, and again, nothing doing in the run game. Hawks sniffing it out well. That time, Jalen Bordley comes up from the linebacker position, takes the legs out from under the runner. He picks up 1 yard on the play. 2nd down and 9 now.
Yeah, as much as the quarterback's been keeping that tonight, that was good of Bordley to not go for the quarterback around the end and stay in his lane.
Now they reset the down box, and there is no gain on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 10. 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. First offensive drive of the 2nd half. Quarterback fakes the handoff this time. He's going to keep it. It's a little read option play. Probably got more from him than the tailback would have got. Buck Anderson meets the quarterback after a short gain at the 35-yard line. And it'll bring up 3rd down and long for Brock, and we'll see if the Hawks can get off the field here. 2 untimely penalties have kept the Eagles alive on this drive.
Yeah, Buck did a great job weaving in and out of traffic to be able to make that stop to limit it to just a gain of 3.
2 receivers split to each side now as Brody Woods and company look down for the call from the sideline. Moves the tailback over to the right side. That's number 10, Vance Guthrie. Now he moves back to the left, and there's a flag on the play. Trying to get the Hawks to jump, and instead, I think, got their own guys to jump. And they did. 5 yards We'll make it 3rd down and 17 with 9:11 in the 3rd. Ball all the way back on the 30-yard line for Brock. 3rd and 17. No, 3rd and 12. They got the scoreboard adjusted quickly. I was able to see it. Woods wants to throw. Looking left. Now pulls it down. Being pursued by several Hawks. Fires across the middle. Caught. No, ball bounces up. Incomplete. Beautiful play by Xavion Johnson. He met the would-be receiver the same time the ball did. Able to jar it loose. Incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th and long, and the Eagles send in the punt team.
And assuming there's going to be a change of possession here after this punt, that's just as important as the interception that he had previously in the first half.
Absolutely. Akari Johnson back at his own 40, waiting on the snap. It's a high snap. She's waiting on the punt. Ball bounces. He says, get out of the way. Takes a Brock bounce. I'll tell you what, that punter's got a good way of making that thing roll, and it rolls all the way down inside the 30 and inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. And so Pleasant Grove's offense gets their first chance with the ball with 8:41 left in the 3rd quarter. Pleasant Grove leading 3-0 here in the 3rd stanza of the game. And we'll see what Akari Johnson and company have in store as they come out on the field.
I would say on the last couple of punts, I think Pleasant Grove, if they had sent a little heat in, they may have had an opportunity to block a punt. I know that Brock has done that every time that we've had to punt, and Kate's done a good job getting that ball off anyway.
The Hawks will split 2 receivers to each side as Johnson gets the snap. Rolls to his left, wanting to throw. Looking for receivers. Has one caught. Heading down the field is Roland Ritchie. He gets across midfield all the way to the 45-yard line. Roland Ritchie, the sophomore wide receiver.
And he did a great job coming off his route once he knew Akari was scrambling, and basically just set inside where no one was there.
Find a little open spot, give your quarterback an outlet, and then use your feet to turn it into something. Hawks in business inside Eagle territory down at the 44-yard line. 2 receivers split right. Now they'll move 3 receivers over to the right side with the H-back on this side as well. 1 man by himself to the left side is Jalen Borden. Now we're going to flip it again. And we're going to have to take a timeout. A little bit of confusion out there for the Hawks, and Coach Gibson says, hey, let's take a minute and talk about it. We're going to take a timeout with them. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day. All right, we are back here after another timeout. Each of our timeouts tonight brought to you by Texas A&M Texarkana. And, you know, some pretty awesome people graduated from A&M Texarkana.
Well, I know 2 of them.
I know one of them right here.
The other one's
right
here as well.
Look at there, just close to each other. Man, making the Eagles proud, but not the Brock Eagles tonight. 1st and 10 now for the Hawks at the Brock 44-yard line. 2 to the left side, 1 to the right side. Johnson rolling left, has a man in his face, breaks the tackle. Akari Johnson pulls it down and wants to run. Really kind of makes a little bit out of what could have been nothing. Had some guys in his face, and that time just the athleticism of the senior quarterback, netting 3 yards on what could have been a loss. And it'll be 2nd down and 7 now from the 41-yard line.
Yeah, Cam Harris is not going to want to see that film tomorrow. He had Akari locked up, but Akari's athleticism was able to get him those 3 hard-earned yards there.
2 receivers left side, 1 receiver right side now. Fake handoff for Johnson. There's a flag on the play. Somebody got moving a little bit early. Trying to get Torion Phillips going out there from the slot receiver position.
Yeah, the receiver on the top, I can't see the number yet. He was lined up offside. Okay.
So Bordley up a little bit too far. It'll make it 2nd down and 12. After it's marked off. Move it back to the 46-yard line. Really like to see the offense get a rhythm going here, able to take something down the field. And so far, Akari Johnson's come out with the same fire and athleticism that we saw in the first half. Clock rolling inside of 7 minutes and 15 seconds now in the third quarter. They send 2 receivers to each side. The man in the slot on the left side is number 33, Landon West. Akari wants to throw, rolling to his right, flushed out of the pocket, breaks a tackle. Some flags on the play. Looks like in the area of a hold. We'll see what it is. Akari Johnson, quarterback keeper around the left side. He has some room at the 30. Pushed out of bounds at the 25. But there is a basket full of laundry on the field. And I feel like it's going to be a hold, Jay.
It probably is, but Caden McFadden, not too many running backs get pancakes down the field, but he broke it open for Akari a little bit, and I think he actually hit one of his own teammates as well.
That's one of those that maybe if it doesn't show up in the scorebook, you at least put it on your highlight video.
It'll be on Huddle.
Saying, hey, other people may have done something wrong, but watch what I did here. All right, we'll see what the call is here. Well, it is holding against the Hawks, and so and a face mask against them, and they offset. So we're just going to start all that over, act like it didn't happen. Again, it'll be on Huddle. So a hold by the Hawks and a face mask by the Eagles mean we get to have second down all over again. Second down and 12 to go from the Brock 46-yard line. The Hawks send 4 receivers out in a diamond formation left. Get it out to Bordley, and now there's a flag. Didn't get set, illegal shift. Nope. Yep. Offside. An offside penalty against Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, one of the stories tonight besides the O-line is definitely going to be the penalties.
Yep. No, I'm interested to see that differential. But, yeah, a couple of – really on defense we saw it keep some drives going, and here on offense we've seen it kind of hamstring some things that we're doing well, and I know that's one of those things that Coach Gibson is going to be driven crazy by. To get it out to Bordley, same play, picks up a couple of blocks from the receivers. He's hit hard in the back. His helmet comes flying off. He pops up no worse for wear. Not much on the little wide receiver screen out there. Still outside the sticks. Gets it back to the 47-yard line. It'll bring up third down at about 13 now.
Yeah, Cam Harris there getting into the backfield quick, but just wasn't able to get that ball knocked down or be able to advance it.
Landon West comes out of the game. Jamon Wheeler comes into the tight end spot in his place. He joins 2 other receivers on the right side. There's one man by himself on the left. Akari Johnson picks up a low snap, and there's another flag on the play. False start this time against the Hawks. Make it third down and about 16 to go. 5:50 remaining in the third quarter. Pleasant Grove leading it 3-0. Now they bring the play out from the sideline with 15 seconds on the play clock. Johnson gets his front men set. 2 to the right side, 1 to the left side now. Tight end is to the left. Akari wants to throw. Looking left. Fires down the field. Has a man there if he can get under it. Incomplete, just off the fingertips of Torian Phillips. And when Torian goes back and watches that, he took a little stutter step at about the 25-yard line, slowed up a little bit. If he hadn't have done that, I think that ball would have hit him in the 6 in the middle of his chest. Akari put it out there, and by the time Torian tried to catch back up to it, he was just about 2 inches too short. And so now it brings up fourth down and a Cade Martin punt opportunity.
Yeah, I'm looking to see what type of adjustments Pleasant Grove makes here just to try to keep that line protected here a little bit better than in the first half.
Yeah, they had a couple of close calls. It looked like Brock didn't send anybody. High end-over-end punt from Cade Martin. will bounce dead just inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. And so Brock will start their second offensive drive of the second half, similarly to how they started the first. Some area scores from around Texarkana and beyond, especially in our district. Spring Hill lost to Sabine 64-20. Wascom is leading Redwater 33-22 in the third quarter of that ball game. Hooks is leading Harmony 20-16 at halftime. That's one of those games people wanted to see. Harmony knocking Hooks out of the playoffs in the fourth round last year. Henderson up over Liberty Ilo 14-7. Mount Pleasant up 24-7 over Pittsburgh. Carthage leading Kilgore 23-20. Two receivers left side, one receiver right side now for Brody Woods and the Brock Eagles. Fakes the handoff, wants to throw, pulls it down, and he has nowhere to go. Several Hawks in his face. The man bringing him down, number 53, Isaiah Wooten. He's a senior defensive end for Pleasant Grove. That time there were several white jerseys back in the backfield.
Yeah, I think Wooten adds that as a sack, and I believe he's got a tackle for loss tonight as well.
Second down and 14 now for Brock. Defense played this similarly last time. A couple of untimely penalties was able to keep Brock on the move. Two receivers split to each side now. Hard count. Woods now with the snap. Wants to throw. Men in his face. Gets a little tunnel screen set up. The Hawks sniff it out well. Jaden Scales, sophomore free safety, comes up and makes the tackle, still shy of the original sticks. It'll be third down and 11, and Scales really one man by himself out there. If he doesn't make that tackle, that's a big gain, and that's a big-time play for a sophomore kid out here on the corner.
Yeah, they sent the other wide receiver out there basically to basically eye guard him, and he was able to get around him and keep that to a very, very short gain, if any at all.
Rolling now inside of 3:45 in the third quarter. Pleasant Grove leading it 3-0. Brock going to split three receivers now out to the right side. Tight end in tight on the left side. Nobody else over here with the ball on the left hash. And now there'll be a timeout. Brock wants to call a timeout. We're going to take one with him. 3-0 here with 3:32 left in the third. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
Life is busy, and we get it. The State Bank mobile app was designed to make banking more convenient for you. Check account activity, make transfers, pay bills, and manage your debit card in a snap. You can deposit checks from the convenience of your home or wherever life lands you. The State Bank app lets you organize your accounts, manage alerts, and easily email our customer service experts. Now that you have State Bank at your fingertips, you can spend more time doing what's important to you.
Your family, your bank, State Bank.
So after a Texas A&M Texarkana timeout, the Brock Eagles come back out on the field. Third down and 11 at their own 8-yard line. Big opportunity for the Hawk defense. We want to hear you at home cheering them on. Three to the right side now, nobody on the left side for Brody Woods and Brock. Woods looks to his right, wants to throw, fires, tipped. Number 18. Who is that man, Jay?
I think his name's Jamon.
Jamon Wheeler. We've called him all night long. The young man is having himself a whale of a game. Knocks the ball down. And on fourth down, Brock will be punting from their own end zone. Wheeler, a senior tight end and defensive end. And I tell you, I've been really impressed with just the motor on that young man tonight. He's been involved in a variety of different plays and hasn't taken one off. End over end punt. Akari Johnson fields it at the 34-yard line. Makes one man miss. Akari's going to be inside the 25. Inside the 20, breaking tackles. 10, 5. Pushed out of bounds just shy of the end zone.
Yeah,
and the Hawk offense.
Yeah, I was holding my excitement to make sure I didn't see any.
Well, I thought I heard some whistles blowing. That's what I was trying to figure out. Hawk offense set up first and goal. And there's a man for Brock down in the end zone. It'll be first and goal Hawks at the 5-yard line. And Akari kind of lulled him to sleep, I think. He let all those balls go, let him go. He stood there, didn't act like he was going to do much. All of a sudden caught it and turned on the Jets. Broke a couple of tackles there over around the 25-yard line. That one will be fun to watch again. But got a man down there for Brock. The trainer's out there working on him. You know, Stephanie Bridges is our trainer. Last week down at the scrimmage, we see her out there. She's working, and she wasn't feeling too great herself, but it was so hot. She's out there trying to get those kids doing. She teaches a class. She leads a team of student trainers, our Hawk healers, and the new field house, the bottom floor of that, all in the middle, the part that you see that's going to be in glass. When you come next week, it's all open there. That's going to be the new training room. And again, this isn't just, you know, maybe back in the day, there was a coach that might have taped you up or something like that. She's actually teaching classes, part of our health science core curriculum, and then working with our student athletes and people every day. And just, I'm so impressed with the heart that she shows up with every day, the knowledge that she has, and really just a great servant leader, one of those people that you just love to love on. And seeing that kid out there for Brock down there just reminded me how blessed we are in Pleasant Grove to have such a great trainer in Stephanie.
I would like to see 3 people, and no more than 3 people, touch the ball for the next few games, and 2 of them are going to be named Caden. Yeah. So I want Caden Allen to give the ball to Akari, and Akari to give it to McFadden, or keep it.
Akari Johnson coming around the left side. Stacked up there. I thought the ball had come out. That one was read well by Brock. They're trying to get their folks up.
Yeah, Thomas Taylor there for the stop for the Brock Eagles. Basically taking it to no gain, maybe a loss of 1.
Second and goal now from the 8. Akari wants to throw, rolling left. Ball comes out, and the Eagles get on it. He was trying to make something happen. Got the ball knocked out from behind. And the Brock Eagles are back with the ball. 2:39 left in the third quarter. Hawks trailing 3-0. The Hawk defense has stood strong and tall in this third quarter, and we need them to do it again right here.
Yeah, Isaiah Wooten, KJ Greer, Spencer Stokes, Eddie Tank, and Marion Jones, they may have a good practice week coming up. They're your second string lineman.
Gotcha. 3 on the right side, nobody on the left side. Brody Woods hands the ball off to the tailback. He finds some room trying to come left. Gets up across the 40. And it'll be first down Brock. You make good stuff happen on one side of the ball. Sometimes it translates to the other side. Get a little bit of spark out there. And now Brock trying to get quickly back to the line to see if they can keep something going with tempo. Same formation now with 3 to the right side. Trying to get the Hawks to jump. And now they look over to the sideline for the call. Want to see maybe if they can get a bead on someone who may be trying to come on a blitz.
Yeah, Matthew Buxton was there on the stop there for Pleasant Grove, sophomore.
Woods, handoff to the tailback again. Breaks the first tackle. Then I think Eddie Tank, who you just talked about, playing defense there, wraps up the ball carrier just across the 40 at the 43. And it'll be second down and 7 to go.
Yeah, Eddie's done a good job just keeping that center area of the defense there filled up.
Brock not changing anything with 3 on the right side here over on the left hash. Woods with the snap. Handoff again. This time nowhere to go because Jamon Wheeler met the ball carrier in the backfield. Brought him down at the 41-yard line. It'll be third down and 9 to go.
Yeah, another tackle for loss for Jamon there.
Clock rolling inside of 1:15 now left in the third. Hawks with a narrow 3-0 lead, scored on a walk-off field goal at the end of the second quarter as we went into halftime. 3 to the right side now, 1 to the left side for Brock as they split a receiver out in place of the tight end. Woods looking to throw, looking left, fires across the middle, caught. 13 makes the man miss, still on his feet into Hawk territory inside the 40. all the way down at the 39-yard line. Number 9, Xavion Johnson makes the tackle, but Cotton Tanner just came across the middle of the Hawk defense, pulled in a pretty good ball there by Brody Woods, and it's 1st and 10, Brock at the Hawk 38.
Yeah, Buck Anderson there with a delayed blitz, and Brody paid for that, but his wide receiver hung on to that ball and was able to get some yards after the catch.
Clock rolling inside of 30 seconds now left in the third. Woods waiting on the snap, gets it, handoff, tailback again, nowhere to go, and again, Jamon Wheeler with a tackle for loss in the backfield. And Vance Guthrie is going to not allow the number 18 around him anymore because he has seen too much of it tonight. Loss on the play will make it 2nd down and 11. And that's the way the third quarter is going to end. We'll come back with 1 stanza to go. The Hawks hanging on to a 3-0 lead. We're going to take a break. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
We are excited to announce here at Texarkana Emergency Center and Hospital that we have expanded our capabilities to better serve our community. As a hospital, we have the capability for inpatient services. After your outstanding emergency care, we can smoothly transition you into one of our new inpatient rooms that have telemetry monitors in every room to continue your concierge medicine care. While our patients continue receiving their care in their inpatient suites, we also make sure that your loved ones are taken care of with our outstanding facilities. Our added services include a procedure room and also the capability of MRIs. With our imaging, we are able to offer outpatient, inpatient, and emergency room, MRI, CT, ultrasound, and X-ray. We are honored by your support and look forward to serving all your future medical needs.
Welcome back here to Royse City. The Pride in Motion band on their feet as we get ready to start the fourth quarter here. Hawks leading 3-0 as the Brock Eagles on offense. 2nd down and 11 to go at the Pleasant Grove 39-yard line. 2 on the right side, 1 to the left side for Brody Woods. He drops back wanting to throw, pulls it down, breaks free of a tackler. Now he's got some room around the left side. Pulled down from behind, Caleb Hackelman with a big play. I think he may have been the first man there near the line of scrimmage. Kept his motor going, came back, makes the tackle from behind there on the quarterback. Be shy of the first down to the 31-yard line. It'll make it 3rd down and 4 to go for Brock.
Yeah, I've tried not to use the word it's a big 3rd down, but this one is a big 3rd down.
Pretty big 3rd down here, needing to get a stop on that. 3 to the right side, nobody on the left side.
They may be 2-down territory.
Yeah, you would think so from here. Brody Woods conferring with his running back. Snaps it with 3 seconds on the play clock. Quarterback keeper around the left side has some room. Gets into the Hawks secondary. It'll be enough to move the sticks. 1st and 10 for Brock. Number 33, Landon West, making the tackle, but not until Brody Woods gets down to the Hawk the 22-yard line. Do want to congratulate the Texas High Tigers. You probably saw them last night on Texarkana Game Day. They get an opening win, 48-40 over Frisco Lone Star, barn burner over there at Tiger Stadium in Grimm Park. 1st and 10, Brock on the Hawk 22-yard line. Time for that Pleasant Grove defense to stiffen up here. 3 on the right side, nobody on the left side. Brody Woods, hand off to Guthrie. He breaks free of a tackle. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Brought down there, and that's just a good hard run by Guthrie around the left side. Broke through a couple of arm tackles. And now it's 1st and goal. Brock at the Pleasant Grove 4. This is the most Brock has threatened in the ball game. The Hawks intercepted a ball down inside the 5 earlier, but they have not scrimmaged from inside the 5 during this contest.
Yeah, Brock bringing in their heavy package.
Goal line here, and the Looks like a different quarterback there under center, too. Looks like number 8. Heavy package. Didn't matter. The Hawks get there in the backfield. Jamon Wheeler. Who else would it be? The first man there makes the tackle on number 20, Thomas Taylor. No, that was Tutter, actually, 22, Tutter. It looked like number 8 went under center there, which is Toller Kearley. Unless I just can't read the number 2 that well from here.
Yeah, the backup's number 4.
Okay. It'll be second down and goal from the 5, still in the jumbo package, quarterback under center. Hand off tailback, bounces off tackle to the left, and he's going to be in touchdown. That's number 22, Brett Tutter, who goes around the left side from 5 yards out, and it's just a good play design. Everybody thought they were going to the center. The Hawks clogged that up. And he was able to bounce it outside and punch it in from there.
Yeah, Jamon's angle that time was a little sharper than maybe it should have been, but great run there by Tutter.
And now Brock waiting on an extra point. That kick is up, and it is good. 9:16 remaining in the ball game. The Eagles take a lead 7-3 over Pleasant Grove. We'll come back for the end of this after a break. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day. Welcome back here to Royse City. 9:16 left in the ball game, and after a 5-yard touchdown run, Brock leading Pleasant Grove 7-3. Now set to kick off to the Hawks once again. Only the second time the Hawks with a chance to return something here. At the beginning of the game, a high Maverick-style kick was fielded by Cade Martin. We'll see what they try this time. This time, a little bit deeper kick, fielded at the 16-yard line. That's Jalen Boardley looking for room around the left side, and he's going to lower his shoulder near the 34-yard line and be knocked out of bounds there. So the Hawk offense coming back out here, needing to get something moving. They've operated quite a bit in the middle of the field tonight, unable to get anything rolling. And Corey Johnson used his feet pretty well on that last drive. We'll see what Coach Gibson and company have dialed up this time, and now Akari's bringing them out. Number 13, the tailback, is Nick Bells. He's the sophomore. 2 receivers over to the right side, 1 to the left side. The man on to the left by himself is number 3, Justin Castillo.
Yeah, Justin had a great 7-on-7 tournament.
Akari on the keeper, coming left. Has nowhere to go, brought down from behind. He was trying to be patient and find some room around the left side, and good pursuit from the backside that time by number 54, Hunter Fay.
Yeah, Hunter was able to catch him from behind there as Akari was trying to wait patiently for a hole that never developed to open up.
2-yard loss makes it second down and 12 now. 2 receivers split to each side for Akari Johnson. Gets the snap, wants to throw. Rolling to his right. Coverage downfield. Bouncing back, now he's going to be brought down, and that's just too much time to hold on to the ball there, and kind of wish Akari would have just pulled that down. Trying to make something happen down the field. Good coverage. And now it's going to be third down and a mile to go. Clock rolling inside of 8:13 left in the game. Hawks trailing 7-3 here after Brock gets a fourth quarter touchdown score. The Hawks scrimmage from our own 25, 2 receivers to each side. Akari gets the snap, wants to throw. Rolling right now, feeling some pressure. Fires, caught. Jalen Bordley's going to get it near the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down and about 12. Kind of a no man's land here on the field, but the Hawks are going to send in the punter, Cade Martin. 7:25 left. You feel like you probably got maybe 2 more offensive drives, but 1 for sure if your defense can get a stop, but starting to get a little hairy. Cade Martin's end-over-end kick takes a beautiful roll. It's going to pin Brock down deep inside the 15 at the 12. The Hawk defense has played a really good game tonight. They need to step up big in this moment right here.
Yeah, they need a big stop or even a bigger turnover here just to try to change this momentum. Brock coming off the field after that last stop, you could definitely tell that there was a little giddy up in their step. Pleasant Grove's going to have to do something to turn that around here.
Need to get some pressure back here in the backfield. Jamon Wheeler has had a really good game defensively. Xavion Johnson, Torian Phillips. Who's going to step up for the Hawks on this drive? 2 receivers out to the left side. Twin backs in now for protection, flank either side of Brody Woods, the quarterback for Brock. Handoff tailback rolling left. That's number 22, Brett Tutter. He's unable to make the corner. The Hawks do a good job to string that out. It'll be about a half a yard gain on the play. 2nd down and 9 to go.
Yeah, I think he ran right into the arms of Mathis Buxton.
Now distance and time. Both an enemy for the Hawks as the clock rolls inside of 6.5 left in the ball game. Brock taking lots of time in between plays. 3 to the right side, nobody on the left. Handoff, tailback, breaks 1 tackle in the backfield. Slips down, coming away, running away from Wheeler. The first man there for the Hawks who slowed him down was number 29. Well, maybe I can't read.
May have been 28, Ty Boozer.
I hope it was 28 because there's not a 29 on here. So.
Yeah, I believe that was Ty Boozer that came in off the edge.
It was Ty Boozer or a Ghost. One of them. Yeah, it was Ty. I see now the 8 on there. It's too far away. We're way up here in the sky in Royse City. Regardless of that, no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 10. 3 receivers wide to the left, 1 on the right side now. Woods in shotgun, trying to see what the defense wants to do. He wants to throw, firing across the middle, caught, complete. It's number 3, ball's on the ground. Brock falls back on it. Opportunity there for the defense, but a good heads-up play by one of the linemen for Brock.
Yeah, it looks like they just called the player down.
Okay. That was Carson Finney on the reception. He just ran a little slant route. Quarterback put it right where it needed to go. And it moves the sticks. 1st and 10 Brock at their own 29-yard line. 2 receivers left side, 1 receiver right side, inside of 5 minutes now remaining in the game. Woods hands it off to Finney. No, that's not Finney. That's number 22, Tutter. All these alliterative names here for Brock. Across the 32-yard pickup for Tutter. It'll be 2nd down and 8 to go.
Defense looking at making a stand here to get the ball back over to the offensive side here.
Xavion Johnson, free safety, playing center field for the Hawks here, trying to keep everything in front of him. Caden McFadden, good time for him to step on a big play over there from the right side of the defense. And Brock didn't like something they want to see. They want to talk about it. They take a timeout. 4:04 remaining in the ball game. We're going to take a Texas A&M Texarkana timeout with them. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day. Welcome back, Hawk fans. 4:04 remaining in the ball game. Pleasant Grove trailing 7-3. The Brock Eagles with the ball, 2nd down and 8 to go on their own 31-yard line. I want to say congratulations to the Arkansas High Razorbacks. They beat Watson Chapel 58-0. Last year that game also 58-0, except the roles were reversed. And so Coach Outlaw and the Razorbacks starting off in the win column this year. Congratulations, Arkansas High.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 8 now for Brock with 2 to the left side, nobody on the right. Woods, quarterback keeper. Popped hard at the line, driven back by several Hawk players. First one there was number 22, Buck Anderson. Bring up 3rd down and 7 to go.
Yeah, good play by Buck, getting back there and making that stop, giving Pleasant Grove a little bit longer yard to gain for Brock to get here.
Defense really needs to get off the field here, give the offense as much time as possible to go down and score this thing at the end as the clock rolls inside of 3:20 left in the contest. 2 receivers to each side now for Brody Woods. Quarterback keeping around the left side. He's going to have some room. Kari Johnson breaks off, and Caden McFadden comes in, puts a hard hit at the end, but not until Woods gets across midfield into Hawk territory down to the 48-yard line. It'll move the sticks. It's 1st and 10 Brock. Pleasant Grove has 2 timeouts left. With 3:08 left in the ball game. You want to preserve them as long as possible, but you got to get a stop here on defense. And 1st and 10, Brock brings them out. And they want to take a timeout and talk about it again. We'll stay here with it this time, and there's that time it gets a little bit tight. Both teams know what this can mean one way or the other, and man, for a game where the defense has played so well, just a couple of big plays here in the 4th quarter, and kind of just feels like momentum is on the side of Brock. Hawks need a big play here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that Pleasant Grove's going to need to dial up a turnover. They've allowed Brock to stretch these third down, first downs, here I think 2 or 3 times in a row. So big stand, Pleasant Grove, 3 minutes, 8 seconds left. Jamon Wheeler, Buck Anderson, Bakari, McFadden, those are the names we've already called on the defense. Like you said, who's going to step up and make that play.
Coming out of the timeout now, Brock 1st and 10. Inside Pleasant Grove territory at the 47-yard line. 3 receivers out to the left side now as Brody Woods moves his tailback in motion. Woods rolling right, quarterback keeper the whole way. Finds a seam around the right side. Picks up about 11 yards on the play. I don't say he was down at the 9. Gets inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1 to go.
And Noah Sexton there wrapping him up and just keeping him just short of the line of game.
Now 20 seconds on the play clock as Brock will milk as much of that as they can. We're rolling inside of 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the ball game. Two receivers left side, one receiver right side. Not sure we'll see the Eagles put it in the air again. Woods, handoff to the tailback, flag on the play. Hawks sniffed that one out very well. There's going to be a false start.
Yeah, tight end raised his backside up just a little bit there.
5-yard penalty will make it 2nd down and 6 to go.
I'm thinking Brody may keep this one.
Now, one thing that does, it's a 5-yard penalty, but it gives a new 25-second clock, and the clock rolls from there, so may not be something that Brock was too upset about. 2nd and 6 now, the clock inside of 2 minutes. Two receivers left side, one receiver right side. Woods, quarterback keeper around the left side, has a big hole. Breaks the first tackle, but not the second. Number 56, Cade Martin, meets Woods in the hole. Pretty good shot there by Cade. It'll bring up 3rd down. And they call a timeout, or did the Hawks call a timeout?
I believe Pleasant Grove called that to sort of save some time for the defense, or the offense to be able to have a little bit more time to move down the field and score.
1:50 left in this game. Hawks have 1 timeout left. The Eagles have 0. A 1st down here really makes it a difficult proposition for Pleasant Grove. See what the defense can do. We'll give you some scores while we wait on this. Wascom up 40-36 over Redwater. 5 minutes left in that one. Hooks leading Harmony 20-16. Henderson up 27-14 over Liberty Ilo. A minute and a half left in that ball game. Carthage leading Kilgore 30-27. Paris North Lamar up over Carrollton Ranchview 27-12. It says Chapel Hill's up 64-39 over Gilmer. I'm not sure if that's right. That score's been kind of bouncing back and forth all game. I think somebody may be messing with it on the app. Brock comes out with a heavy package, quarterback driving forward, and the line just got behind everybody. The ball came out. Loose. We'll see what happened. Hawks ball!
A big turnover.
Ball. We talked about something needing to happen on a play that initially looked like a 1st down and almost a dagger. And I don't know if we'll ever see who was able to reach in and pull that out. They give the Hawks the best chance here to try to do something. 1:40 left in the ball game. We need a touchdown. The end zone is 72 yards away. 2 receivers to each side for Akari Johnson. Gets the snap, wants to throw. Complete to Bordley. Bordley up across the 30, picks up around 5. It'll be 2nd down for the Hawks. Well defended that time by Brock. Quickly back to the line of the Hawks from the right, hash mark with 2 receivers to each side. Johnson picks up the low snap, wants to throw, looking left. Caught out of the backfield. Caden McFadden on the move. McFadden across midfield at the 40. Stiff arm at the 30, shoved out of bounds from there. Caden McFadden.
And wisely gets out of bounds to preserve that clock, putting Pleasant Grove in good position to be able to continue to move the ball.
1 minute and 11 seconds left in the ball game. Hawks set up 1st and 10 at the Brock 32-yard line. Akari Johnson sends 2 receivers to his left side. 2 on the right side. Gets the snap, wants to throw, has a man coming toward him, fires, incomplete. Trying to get the ball out to Bordley around the left side, but I'm telling you,
Height Dunaway was coming full bore for Akari Johnson there, and Akari just wisely gets rid of it as quick as he possibly can.
1:03 left in the ball game. 2nd down and 10. Hawk fans, we need to hear you at home. We need to hear you in the stands.
Bordley and McFadden at the top of the screen.
There to the right side, one man by himself is Castile to the left. Akari being pursued, rolling to his right, firing down the field. Caught! Touchdown, Hawks! Touchdown, Hawks! Jackson Gibson pulls it in. The Hawks lead with less than a minute.
What a great play call there by Coach Gibson. Puts the ball into the end zone.
We talked about Jackson Gibson at the beginning of this game. We talked about his hands. We talked about his heart, and that time, the young man they found, called Gibby, found himself in the end zone. The kick is up. The kick is good. 56 seconds left. And now the Hawks lead 10-7. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back for the conclusion of this one, folks. You don't want to miss it. You're watching Pleasant Grove Hawk football on Texarkana Game Day.
What's it like at Texarkana College? Life-changing. Starting here means you can go anywhere. We offer student support, student life, dual credit, and hands-on training. And now you can enroll anytime. We'll help you start your future at Texarkana College. Get started by visiting us on campus or online at texarkanacollege.edu. Your future starts here.
Hawk fans, welcome back. 56 seconds remaining in this ball game. The Hawks leading at 10-7 over the Brock Eagles in a game that didn't see an offensive touchdown until late in the fourth quarter. We've exchanged them, and the 3 points scored right before the end of the second quarter are the difference. And the Hawks set to kick off for just the second time. Number 19, Carter Buxton. Young man's been able to put it out of the end zone. We'll see if he gives them an opportunity here with under a minute left. High end over end kick. It's going to bounce at the 5, roll into the end zone, and so Brock will start at their own 25. 56 seconds left. The Hawk defense has stiffened when they need to. On a play that looked like a dagger, thought it was going to be really enough to ice the ball game, they force a turnover. I still wish I knew who that was. They got the fumble. There was a scrum of people, and the Hawk came out with it. That gave the offense a chance. And an Akari Johnson connection with Jackson Gibson puts the Hawks ahead here, and now the defense needs to hold it for 56 seconds. The Hawks will get out of Royse City with a win tonight here. 2 receivers split to each side now for Brody Woods, the quarterback from Brock. And now whistles coming in from the sideline. The Hawks will take their last timeout. We're out of timeouts. We're going to stick with it here. And Jay?
I've had to stand up. I can't
A little bit of excitement going on. Jay's standing up. All the Hawk fans are standing up. The Pride in Motion band rocking over in the stands opposite side of us. And this game has been all about momentum, pushing one side and then the other. Big turnover by the Hawks. Give it back on offense. Caden McFadden with a huge catch out of the backfield to start that drive off. I'm not sure who the guy was that tried to make the tackle at the 30-yard line. He may have a handprint on the side of his head after the stiff arm McFadden gave him.
And I still think that, McFadden, made the wise choice there to get out of bounds.
Yes, sir. Yeah, very smart play. Preserve some time. You never know what you're going to need. Here we go, out of the timeout. None left. 56 seconds left. 2 receivers to each side. 1st and 10 Brock at their own 25-yard line. The Hawks spread out in defense, keeping everything in front of them. Handoff into the middle. Number 22, Brett Tutter. He's able to pick up yards all the way up to the 39-yard line. 45 seconds left now. And they spike the ball and stop the clock at 43. The Hawks go into that prevent defense, you kind of back up a little bit, but man, there was a lot of room there before Tutter encountered the first white jersey.
And you've got your fans of prevent defense, and you've got your fans that don't necessarily like it. I think, Pleasant Grove's got the guys up front to be able to still get some pressure, especially if they decide to pass the ball with Wheeler coming in off the edge.
Yeah, you definitely got some guys up there that can do some things, and you got some guys in the secondary that can cover some space. Brock with them spread out again, 2 to each side. Quarterback wants to throw. Caught by the receiver, knocked out of bounds. Bordley was in coverage. Receiver was able to break out of a tackle there. Number 9, Xavion Johnson comes over to clean it up. Still shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. Ball just inside Hawk territory at the 47-yard line. Clock stopped with 38 seconds. 2 receivers to the right side, 2 on the left side. Woods, handoff to the tailback into the middle. Caden McFadden stops him right near the line to gain. We'll see if they give him credit for forward progress. It'll be close. Caden McFadden did a good job of closing. We're going to have to stop and look. First down. It's first down, and Brock spikes the ball again. 25 seconds left now in the ball game.
Yeah, McFadden doing a phenomenal job coming off of a block to be able to tackle Teeter there. Still giving them the first down, but, like Pleasant Grove was facing, right now time is not on Brock's side.
Ball on the 46-yard line. 25 seconds left. Hog defense.
Colt Matlock at the bottom of the screen for them could be a target.
2 receivers to each side. Woods wants to throw, rolling to his right. Fires it, incomplete. Tried to get it out here. Not sure if he wouldn't have got a little bit more running the ball, but I know he wanted to try to preserve some time. 18 seconds left now. 3rd down and 10. I don't think there's a seat being used in the stands on either side. You hear the Pride in Motion band rocking all the way through the glass over here. We're way up high in this press box. The sound is bouncing off. 3 to the right side, 1 to the left side now for Brock. 3rd down and 10. Woods wants to throw. Looking left, pulling it back right. Has a ton of room in front of him. Firing down the field. Incomplete, almost intercepted, bounced off the chest of Xavion Johnson. 10 seconds left, 4th down and 10. That's one of those that Xavion wants back. It's one of those that you hope we don't point to after this game.
Well, 10 seconds, 2 plays at the most.
They got to get a first down. They've got to get all the way to the 36-yard line to keep this going. That time, the Hawks secondary did a great job of keeping the receivers in check. Quarterback had nowhere to go with it, nearly intercepted. 3 to the right side now, 1 to the left side for Woods. Delay of game. We've seen it happen a couple of times now. It's 4th and 15. Moves the ball back across midfield to the 49-yard line.
That's a big penalty.
Huge penalty. 4th and 15. And that's really the 3rd time they've run out of time. They took a timeout the first time. They've had 2 delay of game calls since then. Cade Martin asking the Hawk fans to get on their feet. We want you on your feet at home as well. 10 seconds left. 3 receivers right side, 1 receiver left side, 4th and 15. Woods looking left, wants to throw, fires, caught. Ball's in the air. Hawks have it. Number 33, Landon West. Time expires, and that's the ball game. 10-7. Pleasant Grove is 1-0 on the season. Jay, if you drew it up, you might have made it a little prettier. You might have made it a little more lopsided. But the 1-0 wouldn't be any different. And the Hawks get a win here against the number 2 ranked team in 3A Division I, the Brock Eagles. It was an exciting game all the way down to the end, and I'm glad we come out with the win.
Well, super excited for the way the defense played tonight. They really stepped up and did exactly what I thought that we were going to see out of them. And to hold the Brock Eagles to just 7 points, I think is pretty incredible. Second year in a row we've been able to do that. And so, I think going into, the next couple of games, defense is definitely going to be the strength.
Yep.
But we do have some questions.
Yeah, so there'll be things to deal with this week, questions to answer. We've got Bird coming in next week at home, the team that week 2 last week I think really kind of stunned us a little bit. We didn't lose again after losing to them until later on in the season, so they're going to show up. That's one of those games that I know this team has had circled and said, hey, we're really going to know who we are when we run up against Bird. Well, there are going to be some questions to answer. We talked about on the offensive side, some things that worked, some things that didn't work. Had some stuff that looked good at times, had some stuff that makes you a little bit concerned at times, and so
Akari's mobility is going to be important over the next few games until we can find some solutions on that offensive line.
Yeah, need to get some rhythm going on offense. Need to figure out some things there, but at the end of the day, you come away with a win. We're 1-0. You find a way to win, and that's one of those things. That's leadership. That's the leadership of these seniors out here on this team. Big playmakers happening all the way over there. Jamon Wheeler on defense tonight was really a revelation. I think he made himself known. If people didn't know to look out for number 18, I guarantee you any coach watching the tape after tonight's going to go, hey, we got to know where that guy is out there on the field. He had an incredible game tonight. Really impressed me with his motor. Offensive side, Akari did some great things. McFadden did some great things. Gibson did some awesome things. Of course, the touchdown there to win that, but just a lot of heart showed from that young man as well. Again, not the most beautiful game in the world, but it's a win. We come out 1-0 down here in Royse City. Next week, we'll be back in the friendly confines of Hawk Stadium. Jay, any parting words as we head off out of here?
Well, once again, I just appreciate the support that we get from our sponsors, and just want to thank them, and more importantly, want to thank all the eyeballs that streamed this game tonight, and definitely a pleasure to always watch these Pleasant Grove Hawks win.
Just know you can always catch us each and every week right here on Texarkana Game Day. Next week, we want to see you, though, live out at Hawk Stadium as we take on the Shreveport Bird Yellow Jackets. That's going to do it for us here, though, in Royse City. Your final, Pleasant Grove 10, the Brock Eagles 7. We'll see you next week. We're 1-0. This is Pleasant Grove.